Tiger Woods was arrested on suspicion of DUI in Florida.
Mr. Woods did exemplify signs of impairment.
That was a county sheriff, likely impaired by medication, he says. No injury was reported today, but Woods at high speed hit a truck. His car flipped on its side and skidded. Spring football in the UFL starts tonight on Fox TV. We've got baseball going on today at San Francisco. Yankees are shutting out the Giants again. It's 3-0 on a one-hitter to the top of the ninth. 3 runs in the sixth for the Yanks. Aaron Judge, a 2-run homer. Giancarlo Stanton, a solo shot. The late game will have the Dodgers hosting Arizona, 10 p.m. Eastern. Dodgers get their championship rings tonight. We've got the Sweet 16 continuing in the NCAA men's tournament, including in D.C., Duke against St. John's. In women's final, Notre Dame eliminated Vanderbilt, 67-64.
I've been covering this league since 1987.
This sports writer and this sports fan share a radio show without driving each other crazy. Now, live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple, Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
That's right. Come on in.
Yes, sir.
You know what's going on. You now have full access to this very fine radio program for the next 3 hours.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
Well, that's right. And Alex, you know I don't have my Wait a minute. For the next 3 hours. Come on, Alex. What's next?
Come on, Rob. Try it.
I got it. Wait a minute. What happened here? Oh, my God. I must have thrown it out yesterday.
Come on, Rob.
For the next 3 hours, yes. I can't remember. All right.
I got you, Rob. You ready?
Here we go. You got it? Yes.
Okay. With that password, you now have full access to this very fine radio program for the next 3 hours. No matter how you listen in, Fox Sports Radio, the iHeartRadio app,
yes,
Sirius XM Channel 83, and now live.
We'll do it live
on YouTube.
That's right.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Thank you, Bill. Say my name.
Rob Parker.
Say his name.
Keith McPherson.
That's right. And we are indeed the Odd Couple on this funky Flashback Friday.
Today's Friday.
Live from New York.
Do it.
That's right. So you'll need our telephone number because we are, without question, the most listener-friendly national sports talk radio show on the planet. At least when people are still awake. Sorry about that, Ben. That's right. Also, remember, if you do call in here and you get to hear some feedback on the line, remember that's your own fault because
you forgot to turn down the radio.
That's right. We'll get there. And if you call in here and don't like what we're saying to you, tough because...
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem, turn off your station.
There you go. And don't forget, as always, the Odd Couple.
Sweet-oo-beady, yeah.
And here's my sheet. I want you to know I do have it.
It's here.
I found it. All right, let's go. Big show. Let me welcome in my co-host for the second night in a row, filling in for Kelvin Washington. He is Keith McPherson, and we're here in New York. Keith, what's up, my man? How are you?
I'm good, man. The Yankee game is on. I'm going to try and not pay attention to that.
Don't pay attention. That's right.
Man, the sports world keeps on sportsing, and the world keeps turning, and we got new stuff to talk about tonight. I'm ready to get into it.
No doubt about it. A lot to get into, and don't forget to don't let employee turnover slow down business. That's right. Express Employment Professionals finds the talent you need to keep productivity on track. From the warehouse to the front office, Express staffs all jobs. Visit expresspros.com today. All right, let's welcome in the Odd Couple crew. We wouldn't be able to do this fine radio program without them. Alex is our engineer.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Shay is our producer, and for Rob G. Very nice. I like that, Shay.
You weren't ready for that, huh?
I wasn't ready for that. I didn't know you had a little.
I know, right? 3 years in, I finally get something, Rob.
Very nice. Steve DeSager's at the anchor desk. He'll keep us updated throughout the program. And, of course, Sagar is our social media guru. So there you have it. And we got a lot to get to in this first hour and of the program. And for the next 3 hours here, it's the Odd Couple on Fox Sports Radio. All right, big news. Tiger Woods arrested, suspicion of DUI, detained by the police in Florida. Shay, you have some details of his truck being turned over.
Oh, yeah. So this morning, I wake up and I see some news thinking it's going to be a history thing. Maybe it was something from 2 years ago today. But no, Tiger Woods has done it again. He got in a car accident early this morning, and I believe it was Jupiter Island. That was the name of it. The sheriff came out at 2 p.m. Western, 5 p.m. Eastern, and basically said Tiger Woods was involved in a car accident where he was speeding and may or may not have been under the influence. Tiger was taken to the prison, the local prison, and there he blew a 0.00 but refused to take a blood test. You guys could speculate what that means, but again, this is, I think, the second time in the last 5 years he's gotten in a car accident, and I think the sixth time, I believe. I'm going to go back and look at those numbers again, but I think the sixth time something like this has happened. We don't know if he's injured or not yet. We really don't know if it is if he was under the influence, but right now he is arrested for suspicion of DUI.
And again, it could be all kinds of stuff, prescription drugs, other stuff in his system. That's probably why he didn't want to take the urine test to go along with it, especially after he blew a clean test for alcohol. But it's just another situation where Tiger Woods finds himself embarrassingly in handcuffs after being behind the wheel. And it just can't keep happening. And the other thing, too, is this is getting really serious, and maybe Tiger Woods needs to take Lyft or an Uber or hire a driver, because I'm starting to worry that possibly X1234 over par. That's the number I think they gave him when he took his picture at the floor. X1234 over par. That's his number. I should call him Tiger Woods and not his prison name. But I'm just saying to you,
it's Tiger.
Yeah, the idea that this is where Tiger is going, and this continues to happen. Like this is scary. Keith,
yeah.
This is a legendary figure who could wind up, if this continues, where there'll be some awful ending to this, either Tiger Woods, either some other driver or drivers.
Can't happen again.
That this could possibly be what people remember as Tiger Woods at the end. Once he stopped winning the majors and be the greatest golfer of all time, the post-great golfer Tiger is now the bad driver under the influence. That there's no other way you could look at it and not think that there's some issue here when this guy's so wealthy, could easily have a driver, could easily take himself out of this situation. And it's a bad look, Keith. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, and we can kind of joke about it because no one was hurt. I think we got that the other driver was okay. But it's scary, right? Because it's like, here we go again. And like you said, with Tiger and his whole legacy and what we know about him, you don't want to tarnish this whole thing later. He's 50 years old. You want to tarnish this whole thing later on where, like, the younger generation's just going to know him for this type of stuff. And I don't know what's going to come of this. I think it was smart of him to not take the urine analysis, the urine test.
I'm sure that came from his lawyers who just said, "Don't do it." You know what I mean?
He blew zeros. So at least when you first hear DUI,
but he still got arrested because they thought he was impaired.
But they have to do that. They have to do their job as a big accident. And then also they said they got to hold him there for 8 hours and then let him go. But, he's rich, right? So two things. He's going to, get a hungry lawyer to eat the case. But then, like you said, why are we not at the point where this guy has a driver? Does he love his cars that much? And I don't care. I know you got nice cars, but somebody's got to drive them for you. Or get picked up in a nice car. He can definitely afford car service. This has to be the final blow. This has to be the last one of Tiger putting himself in this type of situation before he hurts himself or someone else. And for anybody that was just thinking they were going to see him play in the Masters or anything else coming up, now that just got taken off the board.
I think he wasn't going to play anyway, but it just the idea that the Masters is about to start and Tiger's making news under the influence, at least what police are reporting, and a DUI and handcuffs and jail. I don't care if it's for 8 hours. Like you got handcuffed, booked, right? And they put you in a holding bin because they're afraid to let you out. You need to sober up, right? It's a bad look for Tiger. And unfortunately, as great as he was on the golf course to start his career, Keith, and nobody can take anything away from him. I say to this day, Tiger probably cost me my marriage because when he won the Masters, his first Masters, I was on my honeymoon in Japan. I don't think we sealed the deal because I was just too busy watching Tiger.
You were locked in.
I was locked in.
You were watching at a bar over there in Japan or something?
No, we're in our hotel room watching.
You wouldn't leave the hotel room.
We were glued. I wanted to see him win.
She was mad. She was mad.
You know what I'm saying? And it took 5 years later, but I'm just saying I still blame him for having an effect on my marriage. But seriously, and this is a serious situation, because as Shay said, as you said, and as I said, no one was seriously hurt in this situation, but it could have been worse. We could have had fatalities, loss of life, limbs, all those situations. And the idea that when it all shook out and the police looked at everything, they said Tiger Woods is to blame here for what he was doing, driving at what I read and what was reported as a reckless speed, right? He was also driving recklessly.
Mm-hmm.
So as a young guy who just, Tiger Woods, as he gets older and he hasn't won, big tournaments in years, to be honest, now we're getting the other side of Tiger Woods. And this guy once had a pristine, Keith, reputation.
Sure.
Family man, kids, great golfer, big smile, no dirty laundry.
Quiet, nice
nothing.
guy.
All that.
Pro.
All we got now are recordings from his mistresses, you know what I mean, phone
Scandal.
things, all that stuff. And he's cooking more than bacon and eggs in the Perkins parking lot. All kinds of, sultry stuff that now Tiger Woods is involved in. And now this is the worst of the worst. I've said this before. And Patrick Mahomes' pops had, I believe, 3 DUIs.
Yeah.
3. And again,
don't they lock you up after the third one?
He did not get locked up.
The lawyers. You got to have a hungry lawyer to eat the case.
And it was in Missouri, and Patrick Mahomes is a big star there, for real. But that is scary to me because when you do that and you leave somebody to be to get back on the road, there's a good chance that something bad's going to happen. And Tiger Woods needs to stay off the road. In fact, I think that should be a part of whatever shakes out of this, that he needs to have a full-time
court mandated
driver. Yeah. I'm dead serious because this is not a good thing.
Yeah, Tiger's just 50 years old, so
he's got a long way to go, long life to go.
And I mean, golf is a sport that guys play until they're 50, 60, up there in age.
The senior tour. I mean,
he's coming back from an injury. He had the Achilles, and so we know he takes some medication probably for that. You mix that with I don't know, the time of day that it was too. This is broad daylight. This is the middle of the day.
Right. Well, he had something there that they felt impaired him. So that's the interesting part. It'll be interesting to see how this thing plays out. Obviously, he has all the money in the world and great lawyers, and there'll be a lot of stuff to see how this thing plays out. But we know what the details are. He got arrested today, suspicion of DUI. Even though he blew a clean breathalyzer, they still believe that he was under the influence. He refused to take a urine test. So this will play out. Where are you on Tiger Woods? Has he been, as somebody who was so great and such an iconic figure, when you see this at the end, does this tarnish him a little bit in your eyes? Or no, this is just human problems and people have issues? Can you overlook this when you look at him? Where are you on Tiger Woods? Because I think it does tarnish you when you continue to do. Everybody makes a mistake. Sometimes it's right. You make a mistake, you learn from it, Keith, and you clean up your act and you move on. That hasn't been the case with Tiger, and it seems like there's always some issues, always something happening with Tiger. 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. We want to hear from you. Where are you on Tiger Woods and this whole situation today? How do you look at Tiger? Differently, the same, unchanged? Does it bother you? We'll take your calls. It is The Odd Couple. Keith McPherson filling in for Kelvin Washington, Rob Parker, where we deliver insight, not noise, right here on Fox Sports Radio. Stick and stay.
Because in Tiger's Woods, great words.
I hit it so good today. It was fun.
There you go. Every sports season is built on preparation, studying trends, and, of course, making necessary adjustments to reach the ultimate goal. Investing deserves the same approach with Webull. That's right. You have access to real-time market data, advanced tools, and intuitive app designed to help you make an informed decision. Whether you're actively trading stocks, options, ETFs, and more, or just planning for the long term for you and your family with IRAs, cash management, and custodial accounts for children. Webull gives you all the tools to invest your way, all in one platform. Looking to take your next preparation to the next level? Check out Webull's Learn resources and join their in-app community feed to discuss investing trends and happenings alongside 25 million users globally, and now help streamline your trading activities and evaluate your strategy via Webull's personal market AI assistant. That's right. That can help you in real-time analysis, watch list insights, and alerts when earnings drop. So get your financial portfolio game ready for downloading the Webull app today or visit Webull.com.
Webull Financial LLC, member SIPC FINRA. Investing involves risk. For more information, visit Webull.com/disclosures.
So you got to start to looking at, Rob G, looking at the teams who are going to win it. And some of them are favored to have those freshman phenoms.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is year in, year out, we always talk about tournament time, like, hey, who's going to win it? Who's going to cut down the nets? And usually it comes down to one or two things. Either, because full disclosure, most of these people picking brackets are not watching all these college basketball games.
Right.
So they're going by either, hey, Ken Palm or whatever ranks this team as the best team in the country, I'm just going to roll with them. Or more than likely, I've heard of this guy before. I've heard of this coach before. I'm going to bet on Coach Izzo. I'm going to bet on Coach K. And in this case, if you've been living under a rock, the entire college basketball season has been revolving around the play of a handful of freshmen. They're calling it the greatest freshman class that we've ever seen as it relates to NBA draft prospects. It's headlined by four guys. Number one, Cameron Boozer, Duke. He's going to be the National Player of the Year. He's on a quest right now to become, I think, just the second player ever to get National Player of the Year and win a national championship as a freshman. Number 2, a guy we've talked about on this show, Darren Peterson over in Kansas. Now, they're only a 4 seed, but by all accounts, Darren Peterson was viewed as the number 1 draft prospect in this class. Now, because of some load management, some injury issues, we don't know what it is, his stock is kind of taking a hit. So now it's like, hey, this is where he's going to reestablish himself as the best player in the country. Number 3, A.J. DeBanza. He's a guy we've known about for years, even before these other two, because he was viewed as the next Tracy McGrady, the next great lanky wing player to come out. And then he goes to play with BYU, and it's like, well, that raised some eyebrows. What's he doing playing at BYU when you're a 5-star prospect? Leading scorer in the country, all eyes are on him. And last but not least, the guy who's kind of taken this basketball world by storm, especially in the last couple of weeks, Acuff Jr. out of Arkansas.
He's nice.
Nephew of friend of the show, Rashad Phillips, who might get on this week to talk about it. He is being viewed as, hey, if this was any other year, this kid is in that John Wall, Russell Westbrook, Derrick Rose class of point guards. If there's anybody who can lead their team deep, it's this kid. He's explosive. They just won the SEC tournament. So, guys, I ask you, given how ballyhooed this freshman class is, how much are you betting on one of these 4 guys cutting down the nets at the end of the tournament?
I'm going with none. And they're amazingly talented. We get it. They've been driving the basketball ratings as far as notoriety. You talked about the names you're looking for. But historically, Rob G, I got to just say it doesn't really work when you have these fabulous freshmen, these freshman phenoms. And this is coming from somebody born and raised in Ann Arbor, Michigan, who saw the Fab Five and cried tears as a 10, 11-year-old when they lost back-to-back, in NCAA championship games. And it was difficult. And there's something to that. And by the way, these teams we're talking about ain't loaded like that. That team would go on to have a Hall of Famer in Chris Webber, a heck of a player in Jalen Rose, and a really, really good player in Juwan Howard, and so on and so forth, Jimmy King and Ray Jackson. But my point is they had some guys. These teams don't even have that. You're looking at Carmelo Anthony, who did in 2003, Anthony Davis in 2012, and really Jahlil Okafor, who led that Duke team back in 2015. That's it for the most part when you had these outstanding players who were freshmen. I just think it's too difficult for multiple reasons, Rob G. You're looking at teams that nowadays, Rob, how many jokes do I make last year around this time? I said, Rob, that guy looks like he went to high school with me and you. Or that guy looks like this. These kids are still getting the COVID years. You're still getting kids who get the 5th year, kids who find a way to get these 6 years. There's so much experience. Teams are transferring and getting transfer players who have been playing for years at other schools. So it is more difficult. You're having teams with so much experience. So many guys are on these teams that have done this before. And then you're playing teams when you're going to these tournaments that have nothing to lose, right? You're playing teams, we ain't going to win. We ain't going to win. So, therefore, they're playing styles and shooting up threes that you're not ready for. It is too much to ask these freshman phenoms to carry a team that is so reliant on them all the way through the tournament. That's why, Rob, I think it's just too difficult for them to do. And not to mention, I believe also sometimes with these players the last, 7, 8 years, in the back of their brain, the NBA is a consolation prize, right? So it becomes, I'm trying. I want to win this tournament game, but if we lose, guess where I'm going? I'll be a top 5, top 6, top 7 pick in a matter of a few weeks anyway. So in the back of your brain, you kind of have that thing you can rely on and say, well, if we lose, so what? I'm going to be a top pick, a lottery pick, and you have that.
You think they think that when they're out there playing, really?
No, I think they're competing, but subconsciously, what's the worst that can happen? Whereas
I'm just saying, if you're playing,
back in the 90s,
I just could imagine be thinking about, okay, I'm playing in a basketball game. No, I'm dead serious.
I'm serious. I think
this ain't football where you don't want to play in a meaningless game. I get that. You're playing in a tournament. I don't know how.
I think
you're
they
at 19 years old
want to win, but if in the back of your brain, this is the difference when you know you're one and done.
It is the Odd Couple on a funky Flashback Friday. Rob Parker, along with Keith McPherson, in for Kelvin Washington. We'll be back in full effect on Monday. Kelvin will be back. That's right. And don't forget to check out our brand new YouTube channel. That's right.
Do it!
You can watch our show live right now on YouTube. That's right. All you need to do is just search Odd Couple FSR on YouTube. Again, that's Odd Couple on FSR. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to join and subscribe. Keep it coming, man. You're doing a great job. We love all our fans, listeners, viewers. Thanks for making our YouTube channel big on Fox Sports Radio. And just search Odd Couple FSR and subscribe. All right, 877-99 on Fox. Tiger Woods arrested, suspicion of DUI. Just your thoughts. Tiger, in this post-legendary status, has been involved now a couple times. And we want to find out, does this tarnish him in your eyes at all, or you just take this as human mistakes? People make mistakes in life. You can look past it, or you can't. So, again, we're talking about Florida prisoner X1234 over par, better known as Tiger Woods. It is the Odd Couple, 877-99 on Fox. I know, Keith. I'm sorry. Marty in Kentucky, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Marty?
What's up, Rob? How y'all doing this Friday?
We're doing great. How are you?
Today's Friday.
Pretty good. Tiger Woods, great with the driver, not a great driver.
There you go.
I want to
said.
I want to put it out there right now. $250K a year, paid expenses on traveling. I'll be his driver full time if he needs it. Just want to throw that out there. Rob, I don't think it's fair that you blame him for your ex-wife's disappointment on your wedding night.
No, that might be a reach. I might have had something to do with that, Marty, huh?
Yeah, I'm thinking so. But in all seriousness, fellas, I think he needs a little help. Men that are great at something, and it's basically what their life revolves around. When that comes to an end, and I've seen it, I've had friends that were great ball players and became coaches, and then when they weren't coaches anymore, they didn't know who they were. And he needs to look at guys like Michael Jordan and Tom Brady. They have found conquest other things that they want to chase, things that they want to achieve. I don't think MJ was doing great at first. His eyes were getting awful yellow. But since he's gotten into this NASCAR and he's done this deep sea fishing, he looks so much better. Like, I just think Tiger needs to find a purpose. He don't know who he is.
You know what? All right, Marty, appreciate that. And he's probably right there, Keith. You know what I mean? The whole idea.
Jordan's eyes were turning yellow from watching the Bobcats.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that was a whole other thing.
That was real bad. Andrew in Chicago, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Andrew?
What up, guys? Happy Friday.
Yes, sir.
In all honesty, Rob, like, it doesn't make me sad or anything. It makes me really angry because that's selfish. Like, okay, one time, maybe, but still, anything when it comes to DUI, how many times do you hear, like you said, like, he didn't hurt someone, but, like, when is too many times to finally happen that you do hurt someone? Like, you have the money, you can get a driver, and I do think what you said before is true. Like, the court should mandate that he gets his license revoked and he can't drive and he must have a driver. Like, all that money, what's the point if you're rich if you can't hire a driver?
Right. When this continues to happen to you, and it just shouldn't, and you want to keep people safe as much as you can. Most people, you can't mandate that because they can't afford to have a driver. But in his case, Tiger Woods can have a driver. Thanks for the call.
Somebody would do it for free.
Real quick.
Yep.
Lastly, I was going to say, please get on Adam Silver with these dumb anti-taking rules that nobody understands. Please get on him. Worst commissioner ever.
We know that. We agree with that. Thanks. How about Bill in Florida? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Bill?
Yeah, I don't want to be hyperbolic, but, do you remember where we were? Like, I'm an older guy. So, O.J. Simpson, I'm a kid from the 60s, and he was legendary, and he became mainstream, and, whatever. And then everything that was alleged just completely was out of nowhere. Can you imagine that? We have Tiger Woods, and this will be his, God forbid, he has some circumstance to continue down this path, and somebody gets killed,
right?
Or he has destroyed his marriage. He's destroyed his relationship. Well, imagine his children with what he's done with his wife. And this is a path. Look, I'm no saint. Don't get me wrong.
No,
But I'm
nobody's asking for him to be a saint because we all are
and
flawed.
myself included.
We all make
Myself
mistakes. Yep, we all
Myself
make
included.
mistakes.
Myself included as his dad. I totally get it. But he's heading down a path like he should be transitioning from the athlete to an ambassador and be embraced. And he's going down this path. Can you imagine where we would be in that same place, driving down the LA freeway going, oh, my God, I can't believe this is happening.
Yep, no doubt. Thanks for the call, Bill. We appreciate it. Let's squeeze one more in, Keith. Kurt in North Dakota, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio on a funky Flashback Friday. What's up, Kurt?
Hey, Rob, you are the most listener-friendly radio host in America and on the planet, and that's why we love you, Rob. I just got 2 quick points.
I appreciate that, Kurt. I do. Thank you.
Hey, and those words are sincere. I mean, you guys are the best. The fact that you bring all the voices to us, and that I can get on my little flip phone and talk to the West Coast, from North Dakota. But anyways, I mean, I love Tiger Woods. 2 quick points. One, I think if Tiger ever competes for another title, like in golf, on a championship somewhere, I think all of his fans would be back roaring. And number 2, this is a big moment for Tiger. He's got to turn it around. He's got to come clean. He's got to be humble. He's got to be contrite, and go public. You take advantage of this and put yourself in the spotlight. Turn it around and maybe get help, whatever But to me, what he's chasing now, on the golf course, he was chasing Jack Nicklaus. He should still chase Jack Nicklaus because he wants to be Jack Nicklaus when he's Jack Nicklaus's age. He wants to be the godfather of the sport and the people that everybody respect. And I think you understand where I'm coming from. But anyways, Rob,
I appreciate that, Kurt, and I do understand that, and that's still within his reach. But if you're going to be impaired driving and this keeps happening, Keith, there's no way you're going to be on that par. People are going to look at you and say, here's a selfish guy that could wind up killing somebody, and God forbid that happens. Like, God forbid. Like that's the other thing, and that's why he does need help, and he needs somebody to step in his life and say, hey, buddy, you got to get this thing straightened out. All right. It is the Odd Couple, and now let's get caught up. Mr. Steve DeSager's at the anchor desk, and he's got plenty.
Hello, gentlemen. Tiger Woods is in jail as we speak, arrested on suspicion of DUI in Florida. No injuries reported. At high speed, he hit a truck. His car flipped on its side and skidded.
Did do some in-depth roadside tests, and when it was determined he was placed under arrest and taken to the Martin County Jail.
That's Martin County Sheriff John Budensiak. Woods was likely impaired by medication, according to the sheriff. Woods also had a crash in L.A. 5 years ago, a one-car rollover. Yankees won 3-0 at San Francisco this afternoon. Giants are shut out their first 2 games of a season for the first time ever. First time in Yankees history, they've shut out their opponent in each of the first 2 games of a season. 3 runs in the 6th, home runs from Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton only scoring of the day. Giants offense went 1 for 28 with 13 strikeouts. Underway, more Sweet 16 matchups in men's college hoops. 1 seed Duke down 20-15 to St. John's midway through the first half in D.C. The late game will have 2 seed UConn against number 3 seed Michigan State. In Chicago, starting up in a couple minutes, 1 seed in the Midwest, Michigan against Alabama. The late game there, after 10 p.m. Eastern Time, will have Iowa State against Tennessee. In the women's Sweet 16, about to start, a 1 seed UCLA against Minnesota. Already UConn has won 63-42 against North Carolina to stay undefeated, and Notre Dame eliminated Vanderbilt 67-64. The Irish from three-point range were just 1 of 17. The WNBA Connecticut Sun have been sold and reportedly will move to Houston in a year. Among the NBA games tonight, Indiana out to a lead late first quarter against the Clippers of 34-18. Pacers shooting over 60% from the floor. Jaylen Brown to the Celtics out with calf tightness. That team due to start at Boston in mere minutes. Late game will have the Lakers hosting a Brooklyn side that's lost 9 in a row. By the way, the Dodgers have the late game in baseball, getting their championship rings tonight. Then they'll be hosting Arizona after 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Spring football in the UFL starts tonight on Fox TV, and there are just 2 NHL games, and that includes currently a 2-0 Detroit lead in the first at Buffalo. Back to you.
All right, Steve, thank you. It is the Odd Couple on a funky Flashback Friday. Rob Parker, Keith McPherson filling in for Kelvin Washington on this Friday. And he just said, Keith, that the UFL is starting tonight or something. I never missed the UFL. I never watch it, so I never miss it. I'm just saying.
I can't tell you. I can't name one team.
You love football.
The
Do you watch that? You like that? At St. Louis Battlehawks?
I think because A.J. McCarron played for the Battlehawks.
Okay. We'll see about that. Let's talk about the real football, though. Let's bring in our man, Adam Kaplan, of course, NFL insider and Inside the Birds podcast, one of my favorite guys. Say hello to Keith McPherson.
Keith?
How are you, Adam?
Good to talk to you guys.
All good. I'm just going to ask you real quick off the top. You heard me talking about the UFL. Do you watch that at all? Are you interested?
Well, I actually used to. I had some friends who were coaches there, so I'd kind of watch it, but no, not really. It's kind of like I'm very NBA centric right now. My Sixers are hanging in there. They're going to get a couple guys back very, very soon.
So
and I love watching Charlotte. I watched Charlotte last night. This is like a story, guys, that I haven't seen in any sport in many years. They're incredibly fun. I think like they give this stat like the best record of the last 8 weeks in the NBA.
But Charlotte and Atlanta. How about Atlanta?
Atlanta's turning around after some,
right?
Yeah. But
they
Charlotte's
got rid of
been
Trae
ridiculous.
Young, and they've turned it around in Atlanta. It's pretty incredible.
But I love watching Charlotte, though. I got to be honest with you, they're fun.
Okay. Well, let's start here in Pittsburgh, and I did see Ben Roethlisberger talking about if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, his choice for a quarterback, what we'd like to see. But my question to you is, any indication if Aaron Rodgers is going to retire or maybe just play one more? If it wasn't Mike McCarthy, I would say for sure he would be retiring. Mike McCarthy and him one more time, I think that there's a possibility there.
Yeah, and Rodgers, it's interesting. He did an interview. I don't remember where it was over the last couple of months. He's very honest about his relationship with McCarthy. They had their ups and some downs.
Oh, yeah.
It's been he was pretty upfront about it, but the Steelers, talking to them, they made it clear they want him back. Now, since Roethlisberger retired, Rob, it's been a disaster. Like, they have not gotten it right. And this is really not a good way to build your football team. Now, they feel like their roster's really good, and they felt that Rodgers still looked like he can move around at 42 years old.
They were 10-7 when he started. One thing I'm going to say is that, you know, their 2 losses, he didn't play. He was 10-7 at quarterback.
I mean, he could they thought he's pretty competent. So, yeah, they made it clear, talking to someone high up there, that they want him back. They feel like they've drafted pretty well. Now, I get the feeling that with the new coaching staff, they think that the one thing that the former staff did not do, particularly on defense, is they did not develop the back end of their defense. And schematically, it's going to change a lot with their scheme change. It's going to be a 34, but they're going to change some things on the back end. So they're expecting to compete at a high level.
Hey, why don't they just draft Ty Simpson? What a week for Ty Simpson coming off of the Alabama Pro Day, right? Like, why don't they just draft him? What do you think about this guy? Is he this year's Jackson Dart, the high riser? Somebody's going to have to take a risk on him and bring him in?
Yeah, Dart did go in the first round. Very athletic quarterback, had his ups and downs, more downs than ups in his rookie season, also got hurt. Simpson's going to go in the first round. Somewhere in the 20s it should be. I know some fans are getting very wary with the hype machine that's going on that he's going to go in the top 10 and where he shouldn't. But I've learned my lesson in 27 years. Quarterbacks, I mean, you could go through the list. Tebow, Mark Sanchez, Mitch Trubisky was the worst example. I was at the draft in 2017 in Philly when the Bears traded up. Nobody knew that it was going to be for Mitch Trubisky. They kept it quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the shockers. I still to this day could not believe it.
Yeah, I was at that draft too, that's a crazy memory that you just unlocked for me. I remember them worshiping Carson Wentz out there in Philly at that time.
It was pretty good
that was a different time.
Hey, Pennsylvania, Wentz in a
That's
lifetime.
right. Wow, Rob, how you knew that? Very nice. Very nice.
Yes, I was all in on Wentz. He should have won the MVP that year. He got hurt the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
He played great, and they gave it to Brady.
By the way. Yeah, and he was so scared about Hurts that he wanted out. Ridiculous. But anyway.
Yeah, but just ridiculous. No doubt about it. All right, I want to ask, I know a lot has been coming out, and we've heard from a lot of the people involved in the rescinded trade between Baltimore and Las Vegas. Who has mud on their face from this? A lot of people, you know, I guess you could read into a lot, but until the trade is finalized and a guy passes a physical or not, you can back out of a trade. I don't think Baltimore did anything unethical.
It's like this, by the way, in every single sport, it's pending a team physical, and It's not that they didn't know. They already had the scans. They already knew that he had a meniscus repair. That's a 4 to 6 month rehab. Sometimes it's longer. They just felt that based on what they saw when they examined him and they got more opinions that they were not willing to take on the risk. Does Eric DeCosta look good? No, he does not. But, Rob, you hit on it. You'll take the heat. You just don't want to make a mistake where you're giving up 2 first-round picks.
Yes.
For a guy's got knees of a 40-year-old. That's a problem. Like that's I don't know.
That's worse than backing out and having people mad at you. I'm with you. If you really aren't comfortable with somebody. All right, I got one more question for you.
Sure.
Adam.
Yeah, why don't they just trade for Myles Garrett? There's never a week that goes by without talking
the Browns
Myles Garrett getting traded.
The Browns made it clear, just so you understand, we were talking about this a year ago with Steve Hartman. The Browns made it pretty clear they were not going to trade him. They were going to get an extension done, even though he asked for it to be traded. They were going to wait the thing out, and they made him a promise. And by the way, they had the best draft. They feel internally, best draft they've had in 10 years is the one that they just had here with Andrew Berry, who really not drafted well until this past one, but they drafted really well. But they haven't got it right at quarterback yet. We'll see what happens.
Let me jump in on that because there's no way. We got 1 minute.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson has to be the starter. They owe him so much money.
But they're not doing that.
Is that not going to be? They're going to be with. They're actually going to go with Shador.
No.
Can he play?
I mean, physically, they think he's well on his way to being ready because remember he had the setback
can he
with
play?
Achilles.
Can he still play?
But he hadn't played good football since 2020.
But Shador didn't play good either. Look at the numbers.
He had one really good game. He needs work, but I mean, Rob, it's tough as a rookie to be thrown in there. You got to give him a chance at the start.
You should look at some of the numbers. They were the all-time worst.
They were bad. Look, I've seen a lot of bad football.
10 interceptions and 7 touchdowns.
Have you seen Justin Fields lately? I've seen a lot of bad football.
I never thought he was a good quarterback, and everybody's made excuses everywhere he's gone.
I know.
Now Andy Reid is going to be the savior. Now it's on Andy Reid. I mean, come on.
It is interesting, but yeah, Cleveland is going to be a fascinating team because they finally have some first-round picks. They're starting to feel like they're building something, but they haven't got it right at quarterback since the Nixon administration, so it's a problem.
It has been a while since Moby Dick was a guppy. Since the Louisiana Purchase. It's been a long time. All right. Adam Kaplan, my man, always thank you for the insight and the information, my man. Thank you. Have a great weekend. All right. It is the Odd Couple. Rob Parker, Keith McPherson in for Kelvin Washington, and we got a lot to get to. We'll got the play of the day, a little Shekel City, that, and much more. So you know what you need to do on this Funky Flashback Friday. Stick and stay.
So you can find out what Tiger did when the car was going in the US of A.
I did pull out.
LeBron may have put his foot in his mouth once again. Take a listen.
Playing 82 games in the 80s and 90s is not the same as playing 82 games in the 2020s. It's just not. The way we play, the level of pace, the level of the speed that we're playing at, it's a different game now. It's a totally different game. It's a lot of soft tissue injuries that's happened now because of it.
Straight. Boulder Dash, Poppycock. I mean, come on. Like LeBron, this is where people push away. When you hear this and he's trying to justify and whatnot. We get the injuries and what's going on. People used to get injured there, and it was different defensively. But, Rob G., you did the research, right? Or you found out. You got them, too.
I got the numbers.
And the numbers just don't add up for LeBron, and that's the issue. And that's what we talk about. When you listen to these terrible podcasts and there's nobody there to push back and say, well, that's interesting, LeBron, because back in so-and-so, it's the same, and you're saying you're playing differently. What you got?
Man, let me tell you. You're at because he is absolutely right what he said. It
All right,
was
that's why I
playing
want to
different.
talk to Rob G. Then.
I got the numbers. No, I'm saying he's absolutely right. And that the 80s and 90s was way harder to play in. Way more difficult to play in.
That's what I'm saying. All right.
Yeah, because, listen, let's talk about the numbers. First of all, LeBron typically, he can be this, he can be polarizing, he can be passive-aggressive. One of the things he normally is very astute when it comes to basketball. His acumen, he knows he's a historian. That's one of the things I appreciate.
How do you say that when he voted for Bronny for the All-Star game?
Well, that's his son. You know what I mean? Nepotism, cronyism.
Yes.
You got to get that done. But, he usually is very well-studied, historically, knows the game. That's one of the things you can at least appreciate about him. This one, he's dead wrong in my opinion for multiple reasons. Number one.
Are we recording this?
The 80s was the absolute, to me, hybrid of the two. You got the fast pace, and he's talking about pacing. Let's talk about the pacing. In the 80s, it was the fastest. In fact, the only pace that they had was 1 year, 87 to 88, when they had a slower pace. They were at 99.6, which the current pace is at 99.6. After that, you're talking 100.6 to 102.1.
Did he ever watch Showtime?
Showtime. The Celtics, the Pistons, the 76ers with Dr. J, Houston with the Hakeem and Ralph Sampson. The Nuggets, they were going back in the day.
The Nuggets would score 175 points on a regular basis. Yes.
Watch
Alex
this.
English and all those guys. Yes.
Kiki Vanderway. Not only were they playing at a higher pace, what else would you see? Punches, clotheslines, and hard fouls.
And they were physical. You come into the lane, guess what? You're going to get a two-piece and a biscuit.
So they are playing at a faster pace, way more physical. They didn't have commercial airlines. They did not have the advanced medicine and nutrition that they have right now.
They used to ride next to me on the plane.
Literally.
When I covered the NBA back then, NBA players sat next to me. We were on commercial flights. Yep. We took 6 a.m. flights out of every city. Mm-hmm. Like, that was an NBA rule because back then you didn't come back home and get in your own bed. You would go on a road trip.
Yep.
And you would stay on the road and you would fly to the next city and we would be on those flights.
Exactly. So the idea that, it's just so hard now. All y'all do is go 35 feet out and set pick and rolls. Now, if you want to talk about soft tissue issues and why guys are beat up and brutal, I tell you why, and I've been telling this since the duration of me on this show. It's that they only play basketball since they were 6. And that's all they do. And they're playing for their team. They're playing for the travel league. They're playing AAU. Then they play for this team.
That's not what people did. They played all sports.
They played all sports. How many times we hear about guys playing football, baseball, basketball? Oh, I didn't really lock into basketball until my freshman year because the other years I was playing this. Or in high school, I had to decide which one am I going to finally commit to because I played all of these sports. That's the issue why guys are beat down, wore out. That's why LaMelo Ball is always injured, and Lonzo Ball is always injured, and Zion's always injured.
And they played 1 million games on the AAU circuit on the weekend.
6 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday.
Ridiculous.
Then I go back to my regular team, and I'm playing too much. But the idea that they're playing faster pace and it's harder. Yeah, right. You have everything catered to you. The best medicine, best nutrition, best travel, best doctors.
I don't remember any masseuses traveling when I was covering the NBA in the 80s. I don't even remember. There was some fat guy in there rubbing you down after a game.
That's about the best you got. What was the dude with the Pistons for all those 30, 40 years? What was his name? Mike
Abdenauer.
Abdenauer, exactly.
That's a good call for you. Very good. Mike Abdenauer.
Yeah. So I'm blown away with this one, LeBron. It's a big miss because they played at a faster pace throughout the duration of the 80s. They played much more physical basketball. They didn't have the advancement of medicine and technology. So I don't get where he's going.
It is the Odd Couple on a funky Flashback Friday. Keith, you don't know anything about that. That's Pick Up the Pieces.
That's a jam. That's a bop.
You know that?
I don't know it. It slaps, though.
Am I right, Alex?
Before.
Is that Pick Up
You're
the
right.
Pieces? Who is that by?
Average White Band.
Okay, I wanted to say that, but I couldn't say it.
Racist.
It is the Odd Couple. That's right. Funky
That's gotta be
Flashback
racist.
Friday. Rob Parker, Keith McPherson in for Kelvin Washington. And guess what? Let's go.
the Tire Rack Play of the Day. And now it's time for the Tire Rack Play of the Day.
And the pitch, swung on high drive, down the left field line. Going, and go! 2-run homer, Aaron Judge. 2-0 lead for the Yankees here in San Francisco in the 5th.
The Play of the Day was brought to you by Tire Rack. For over 40 years, Tire Rack has been helping customers find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. Ship fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection with convenient installation options like mobile tire installation. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Dave Sims, my guy, on the call.
That's
out
right.
West.
On the Yankee Radio Network, and we're going to get into that. But first, it's time for a little Shekel City.
Oh, God, I love Judge.
Welcome to Shekel City, the home base for Rob Parker's daily picks against the spread.
Did I do that? Did I do that? Did I do that? I did do that. All right, here we go. I know we're all discombobulated because I'm in New York and I don't have all my paperwork with me. But we have the picks for tonight, and tonight is going to be a blowout special on Shekel City. Are you ready for these spreads? So the best bet, I'm taking OKC minus 19.5 at home, taking on the lowly Chicago Bulls. I'm also taking Houston minus 13.5 on the road, taking on Memphis. And you ready? One more. Denver is at home against the Utah Jazz. Denver minus 19.5.
Wow.
My goodness gracious.
I need baby oil.
I do, and maybe some cigarettes too. Denver minus 19.5. Houston minus 13.5. And OKC minus 19.5. And Keith, remember this. I'm not telling you who to bet on. I'm telling you who I bet on. And now, hey, we want to talk about a little baseball. I was in San Francisco for the opener, the Yankees and the Giants. And you know what? Nothing has changed since I left San Francisco. The Yankees are still scoring runs, and the Giants can't score any runs. Been shut out in their first 2 games to start the season for the first time in their history. Storied history, the New York Giants who went to San Francisco. And the Yankees are off to a 2-0 start, 10 runs, no runs allowed as the season has started. And Keith, people were all on Aaron Judge after he had the golden sombrero, 4 strikeouts, 0 for 5 in the opener. And then tonight, the captain showed up.
Yeah, should have put a couple of shekels on Judge to homer. He was a lock to hit one out after everybody was talking about him for 2 days. I mean, it's easy work for the Yankees to go in there and do that. A lot of people were talking about the lineup, right? You get Robbie Ray, left-handed pitcher, so they go with Paul Goldschmidt. They sit down Ben Rice. They go with Randall Grichuk. They sit down Trent Grisham. They go with Ahmed Rosario. No problem. It doesn't matter against Tony Vitello, first-time manager, and these Giants that cannot figure it out. It's a brand-new team, new lineup. They have not been able to scratch a run across in 2 games. The Yankees come out hot, running it back. Young Cam Schlittler goes out there and does his thing. And you feel good about a 3-0 win. All it took was 3 runs in the 6th inning. Your boy Stanton as well, right? Like, it's easy.
I've been arguing. I got a friend, my buddy. I'm going to say his full name, Mike Springer, who I've known since I was 22 years old. And nobody's a bigger Yankee fan. And I've been telling him, Keith, you're a big Yankee fan. He's a big Yankee fan. Mike Springer. And he's always talking down on Giancarlo Stanton. I'm like, this dude is going to be a Hall of Famer. If he gets to 500 home runs and stays healthy this year and plays well, I'm telling you, this guy is going to get – and if they win a World Series and he has some big bombs in the postseason, you can mark it down because he's within striking distance of getting that magic number. I'm a Hall of Fame voter. Keith, if you get 500 home runs in my book, it's an automatic vote from yours truly. There are a few magic numbers in baseball. That's one of them. Don't you still look at 500 home runs as a major accomplishment?
Of course. He's one step closer, and his postseason prowess is there. He's going to want a mulligan for last year.
He had one of the top 3 or 4 home runs in the postseason number. You know what I mean? It's been unbelievable.
Stay healthy. He tore up the spring. It seems like he's continued that so far. Stay healthy, prove people wrong, and keep that campaign going for the Hall of Fame.
So there you go. But our number 2 is coming up here on The Odd Couple, and you do not want to miss it. We're going to get into a lot more. So stick and stay.
Unless by some chance you're driving with Tiger Woods in the US of A.
No.
It's the Odd Couple. You know what time it is. It's your boys.
Let's get it. The Odd Couple is fun.
Check.
And informative.
Check.
What's up, America? You want to talk sports with 1.5 of the best-looking guys in the game?
That game was incredible.
You are wrong. You'll be king of the water cooler.
What's it like working with Rob? Rob in his mind is like Chris Rock mixed with Richard Pryor, so I'm running out of fake laughs. Ha ha, Rob. Rob is very passionate.
Son, you ain't ready for this. Well, I don't have BS in my game. I'm straightforward. I'm honest. You say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Eli Manning beat him twice. And, of course, it doesn't hurt that I'm right most of the time. Kelvin is the nice guy, wants to make everybody feel warm and fuzzy.
You done? Let me tell you the truth. I bring the energy, a youthful energy. Rob's not gonna see this, is he? And I bring an honest opinion. Michael Jordan, I can't take it anymore. I need a break. I'm gonna go play baseball.
Trash Talking Tuesday is the best.
It's a great opportunity for folks to call in and they get to trash whomever.
Who you trashing, Roger?
I'm trashing LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay.
They can't even hold Wilt Chamberlain's shoes.
Stop talking about the king like that. It's a new era. Let LeBron be the best, please.
I only recognize one king in the United States, and that's Burger King. The connection with the Odd Couple audience is incredible. We really invite them in.
And they can relate, whether it be things about our own personal lives or our takes on sports.
Love you guys. You guys are killing it.
Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with your boys. They feel like it's just my guys, just my friends, and they join right in on the show.
We talk with the listeners, not at them.
Obviously, you can listen to us live, but you can still check out the podcast. You can check out our YouTube. You can check us out on social media. So in any way you want to get it, you can get it.
Yes.
There's some yelling. It is some hot takes. It's a whole lot of fun. I'll give you that.
It is fun. I agree. Begrudgingly.
The Odd Couple.
Sports talk that's too good and too fun.
Tiger Woods was arrested on suspicion of DUI in Florida. No injuries reported. He was likely impaired by medication, according to the sheriff there. The Yankees shut out the Giants again 3-0. Homers in the 6th inning for Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. Marlins lead in the 4th, 2-0 over the Rockies. To the men's Sweet 16 of the NCAA basketball tournament. Final minute before halftime. Number 1 Duke leads 39-37 against St. John's. Alabama's game underway and lead against the 1 seed in the Midwest, Michigan, 11-4 early. There are 2 late games as well. In the women's Sweet 16, UConn eliminated North Carolina. Notre Dame edged Vanderbilt. UCLA just underway against Minnesota. The WNBA Connecticut Sun have been sold and will reportedly move to Houston in a year. In the NBA, late second quarter, the Pacers lead the Clippers 52-38. I'm Steve DeSager.
Can this sports writer and this sports fan share a radio show without driving each other crazy? Now, live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple, Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
Here's Keith McPherson filling in for Kelvin Washington. It's the Odd Couple with Rob Parker. On the other side of the country, we're in NYC on Fox Sports Radio. It's a funky flashback Friday. I mean, does Nas count as a flashback? It's a little bit of a throwback. He is. Anyway, we're in here watching St. John's and Duke, March Madness. You know, you got Rick Pitino. It doesn't get too much more old school than Rick Pitino, right? And Tom Izzo and Dan Hurley, they're old school fools as well. They had a lot to say recently about their coaching style and how the media perceives them. And it's a good talking point, honestly, but be sure to check out our brand new YouTube channel. You can watch us live on YouTube right now. That's right, we are simulcasting right now on YouTube with video of the two of us. Just search Odd Couple FSR on YouTube. Again, that's Odd Couple FSR. Be sure to hit subscribe and don't stop there. Hit the thumbs up icon and comment away. Let us know which one of us is the odd one.
Who's odd? Is it me or is it you? Come on, be honest.
A little bit of both. Check us out on YouTube. Watch the live right now. Just search Odd Couple FSR and subscribe.
All right, yeah, hour number 2, a lot of stuff to get to. I know you just kind of mentioned it, but we do have sound from these coaches. Tom Izzo and Dan Hurley. Let's start with Dan Hurley, and then we'll talk about it. But they think that college basketball in America has turned to goo.
You know, society, we've gotten soft in a lot of ways. I think with, with trying to develop young people, I think young people, the teachers and coaches that impact their lives the most are not the teachers and coaches that gave them a grade they didn't deserve. I mean, you remember the teachers and coaches that pushed you to your maximum. That pushed you beyond your comfort level. I just think the same thing applies to coaching. I feel like I got a responsibility. I coach 18, 19, 20-year-old men. There's a lot of commitment that I've got to instill in them to prepare them for the real world. The real world is tough. It's cruel. You got to be equipped. So on the flip side of how I'm driving them and pushing them to be the best that they can be and prepare them for life, I'm also or times that we spend, together laughing, joking, making fun of each other. You don't see that part of me. You, unfortunately, just sometimes see the monster.
And then, of course, we also heard Tom Izzo had similar comments.
You play real good, you start. You don't play as good, you work your way back in. It's the American way, except America has gotten soft. But that is the American way. That's the way it works. And so I apologize to nobody for that.
They're not wrong. They're not wrong, but somebody's going to say they are wrong. You got to be nicer to these kids. You got to coddle these kids. This is the NIL era. This is the transfer portal era. We're paying these kids. They'll leave. They'll go somewhere else. You don't want to upset the modern-day athlete. You got to have kid gloves. But nah, I'm old school too in that sense. Like playing football growing up, I understand it. And we just saw even in the women's college game, the Maryland coach, and she was going hard at a player, and the player said, "I like that. You got to just be coachable." And they get paid so much money. They don't get paid to be babysitters. They don't get paid to be these kids' friends. They got to coach them. They got to get them prepared for the real world. The world has gotten soft, but in the battle lines of sport and competition, I really do feel like these guys got to stand firm on that. They got to be tough on their guys.
I don't buy it at all. There's more ways of coaching, and it's just a crutch. Tom Izzo's so tough on his players. When's the last time he won a championship? Since Moby Dick was a guppy 26 years ago. That really works. Stop with this whole – there's not one way of how you coach, and it's not that you just have to be a taskmaster and disrespect players and yell at them and in order to get people to respond. People are different. You can't coach everybody the same, and you know that, Keith. You might be the guy who needs to be kicked in the butt.
Sure.
But the other guy needs to be patted on the butt in order to motivate him. Everybody's not the same. And it's just, you know why these guys all are butt hurt and America's so soft and all this? It's because players now have power. That's what they're afraid of. It's not about America being soft. You can't jerk these guys around like you used to. Everybody thought when you got a 4-year scholarship, you were set. It's renewable every year, and if they want to force you off the team or take away your minutes, they could do it. And now they can't do it because the players can get up and walk out and go to the transfer portal. They're making money where those kids had nothing before. And the coaches had their scholarship in their back pocket, and they treated them terribly. All those players, the only reason that they always, after the fact, have love for them is because those coaches often were the ones who recruited them, and I get it. You never forget that, right? He gave you a chance. So even if you didn't like your experience with him, for the most part, you're not going to go public and say this guy was a terrible guy. Very seldom do you see former players do that. I'll tell you the same thing. Bobby Knight, the late Bobby Knight, cracking a whip and doing all that stuff to his players. You can't do that today. Don't tell me that America's gotten soft. It's more sophisticated. It's more understanding. You can be coached hard, but it doesn't mean that you have to act like a jerk and you have to treat people with disrespect to get them to work hard. There are different ways of coaching. And Dan Hurley, I get it. He's won a couple of championships. I guess what? They won championships at UConn before Dan Hurley got there. I'm not saying that he don't have anything to do with it, but that program's won championships. Kevin Ollie won a championship at UConn. So you're telling me it's just the way Dan Hurley coaches? Is that the only way you win? I don't remember Kevin Ollie being in that same temperature, right? Or being that hot. Come on, Keith. These are dinosaurs. Tom Izzo is best described as Fred Flintstone with a better car. That's who he is. And I'm not going to sit here and let Tom Izzo try to tell the world and Dan Hurley that you have to be a taskmaster. You have to be mean and spiteful and all that and treat the kids with disrespect and yell at them in front of everybody and try to embarrass them. It's one thing. If they're not playing up to par, take them out. They'll get the message. You don't have to be that way. And I'm not against people giving some tough love and all that, but there are more than one ways of coaching. So you go ahead, and you know what? Guys like Tom Izzo should retire if you can't stand that America's so soft. Retire, Tom. Why don't you give it up? Go do like all the other old coaches who bounced out.
Yeah.
They bounced out because they can't adapt. Tom Izzo can't adapt. Tom Izzo never wanted to take one-and-dones. Keith, that's why he hasn't won in a quarter century, right? Because he wouldn't take one-and-dones. He fought against that. That's why you don't win. I don't care how your coaching style is. That's why you won't win the big games, because you refuse to adapt. When you don't adapt, you know what happens? You become a dinosaur and you become extinct. And that's when I hear these coaches talk like this. They don't read the room. They don't understand this ain't 1985.
And they took a shot at the media, so I know you caught that one. You being part of the media.
You know it.
They said the media that criticizes them, they don't play. They don't know what they're talking about.
Of course. They always do that. It's so easy. And guess what? Dan Hurley and Tom Izzo, you've never written a column for a major newspaper. You don't know what I do. You don't have a national radio show on 400 stations across the country, 3 hours a night, 5 nights a week. You don't know what I do. You didn't go to journalism school. That's the easiest crutch. Oh, yeah, the media, they don't know. They weren't on the team. They don't know what they're talking about. We talk to plenty of athletes, and the real story behind it, they talk about this stuff. That's why stories are broken, and people know what's going on behind the scenes. It's all garbage to me every time I hear it. It makes me sick to hear these coaches constantly. They don't have the control, Keith, that they used to have, and that is what makes them upset, that they can't take away a kid's scholarship or scold them and be afraid that that kid might walk because they treated them incorrectly. You go ahead. You're supposed to be new school, and you go back these old timers, these old fuddy-duddies. That's what they are.
Yeah, it was Sir Charles, too. Sir Charles said the media, who don't know anything about sports, say, why is he yelling at his players? That's called coaching. If parents and friends get mad because you're getting yelled at, get better parents and better friends. But listen, man, it is a changing of the guard in just modern-day times. Jim Larinaga hung it up. Nick Saban, I think, is another coach that you talk about with the changing of the guard and the NIL and the transfer portal. It's like, this is not for me. A lot of these coaches saw the landscape changing, and they said, no, I don't want to compete. If this is the type of thing we got to do, we got to pay these players, and if recruiting involves, competing with the dollar amount. So I don't know. I don't know where we're heading. I think it's a wild, wild west still with college sports, and I do think that old guard is going to age out. And, I mean, you're seeing it.
But you're buying this? I mean, seriously.
No, I know where they're coming from. I just understand both sides. I was a former college athlete. I understand coaching a guy hard. I also understand different styles for different players. Some guys, you gotta talk to them in private. You can't embarrass them. Some guys, you embarrass them, that brings the best out of them.
That's my point, is that there's two sides. There is no one coaching style that's going to get the best out of people. All right? I had a situation in Cincinnati with Lou Piniella when he was the manager. And all the players complained and that they weren't having fun. This is after they won the World Series, Keith, in 1990. In 1991, they were complaining behind the scenes that it wasn't fun to play for Lou Piniella, okay? And I went and I wrote the story, and the guys didn't want their names in the paper, but I was willing. I thought it was a big enough story. And you know what happened? Lou Piniella yelled to the top of his lungs and embarrassed me in front of everybody in the clubhouse. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, after that story blew over, guess what he did? In front of all my peers in his office, he acknowledged that I was right. And Lou Piniella said, you know what? Rob is right. Remember that column he wrote a couple weeks ago? He's right. I can't treat everybody the same. That's a hard nose. He said when I was a player, that's how the managers treated the players, so that's what I adopted. He said, but I know that it's different now. This was in the 90s. And Tom Izzo still thinks that he can coach the way he coached 25 years ago when he won a championship? Good luck.
He said accountability is going to be big until I leave, and you just told him to leave. But
I'm telling them,
this
leave.
is going to be a good game tonight. Now I can't wait to watch Michigan State, UConn.
Yeah, so when,
They already got Mick Cronin up out of here, and we know how Mick Cronin in UCLA, how he gets down. So this is going to be a fun matchup between two old-school, hard-nosed coaches that believe in coaching hard and yelling at players, and this is the way it's going to be, my way or the highway.
Those days are over, and if you don't adapt, you won't be around long, and players won't play for you. I'm telling you, that no one's going to go sign up for that. And I'm not talking about you want somebody to just be easy and roll over and all that stuff. I don't believe that. But I think you have to be able to adapt, and that is the issue I have. It's so easy to say America's so soft, and that's your excuse for everything. Why didn't you win 20 years ago when teams didn't change? How come you didn't win then? Coaching hard doesn't mean you're going to win anything. It just doesn't. Somebody would have to show me the proof of that. At Villanova, is that what you got, that they were coached hard?
Jay Wright probably would be in line with these guys.
No, I'm asking you, did Jay Wright act like those guys?
No, he didn't carry himself like that, but he would say he probably coached them hard. He was very, he was all class and buttoned up.
This is my point, and Jay Wright did pretty well for himself at Villanova.
Yeah, let's get some people involved, right? Let's get these people involved. Now, I see them going off in the YouTube chat, too. They said, Rob, tell us how you really feel. So call us up. Tell us how you really feel. The number to dial is 877-999 on Fox. Coming up, we're going to hear from you guys next. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Are these coaches going too hard? Do they need to be softer? Is the world getting soft? Do you got to treat these kids differently now because they got NIL and transfer portal powers?
Give up that number one more time.
The number to dial is 877-999 on
996.
Fox. 996. You can dial the full 877-996-6369 number or 877-999 or 99ONFOX. The Odd Couple, Rob Parker, myself, Keith McPherson, filling in for Kelvin Washington on Fox Sports Radio.
So you got to start to looking at, Rob G, looking at the teams who are going to win it, and some of them are favored to have those freshman phenoms.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is year in, year out, we always talk about tournament time, like, hey, who's going to win it, who's going to cut down the nets, and usually it comes down to one or two things. Either, because full disclosure, most of these people picking brackets are not watching all these college basketball games.
Right.
So
Let's
they're
just keep
going
it
by
real, right.
either, hey, Ken Pom or whatever ranks this team as the best team in the country, I'm just going to roll with them. Or more than likely, I've heard of this guy before. I've heard of this coach before. I'm going to bet on Coach Izzo. I'm going to bet on Coach K. And in this case, if you've been living under a rock, the entire college basketball season has been revolving around the play of a handful of freshmen. They're calling it the greatest freshman class that we've ever seen as it relates to NBA draft prospects. It's headlined by four guys. Number one, Cameron Boozer, Duke. He's going to be the National Player of the Year. He's on a quest right now to become, I think, just the second player ever to get National Player of the Year and win a national championship as a freshman. Number two, a guy we've talked about on this show, Darren Peterson over in Kansas. Now, they're only a 4 seed, but by all accounts, Darren Peterson was viewed as the number one draft prospect in this class. Now, because of some load management, some injury issues, we don't know what it is, his stock is kind of taking a hit. So now it's like, hey, this is where he's going to reestablish himself as the best player in the country. Number 3, AJ DeBanza. He's a guy we've known about for years, even before these other two, because he was viewed as the next Tracy McGrady, the next great lanky wing player to come out. And then he goes to play with BYU, and it's like, well, that raised some eyebrows. What's he doing playing at BYU when you're a 5-star prospect? Leading scorer in the country, all eyes are on him. And last but not least, the guy who's kind of taken this basketball world by storm, especially in the last couple of weeks, Acuff Jr. out of Arkansas.
He's nice.
Nephew of friend of the show, Rashad Phillips, who might get on this week to talk about it. He is being viewed as, hey, if this was any other year, this kid is in that John Wall, Russell Westbrook, Derrick Rose class of point guards. If there's anybody who can lead their team deep, it's this kid. He's explosive. They just won the SEC tournament. So, guys, I ask you, given how ballyhooed this freshman class is, how much are you betting on one of these 4 guys cutting down the nets at the end of the tournament?
I'm going with none. I'm going with none, and they're amazingly talented. We get it. They've been driving the baseball or basketball ratings as far as notoriety. You talked about the names you're looking for. But historically, Rob G, I got to just say it doesn't really work when you have these fabulous freshmen, these freshman phenoms. And this is coming from somebody born and raised in Ann Arbor, Michigan, who saw the Fab Five and cried tears as a 10, 11-year-old when they lost back-to-back, in NCAA championship games. And it was difficult. And there's something to that. And by the way, these teams we're talking about ain't loaded like that. That team would go on to have a Hall of Famer in Chris Webber, a heck of a player in Jalen Rose, and a really, really good player in Juwan Howard, and so on and so forth, Jimmy King and Ray Jackson. But my point is they had some guys. These teams don't even have that. You're looking at Carmelo Anthony, who did in 03, Anthony Davis in 2012, and really Jahlil Okafor, who led that Duke team back in 2015. That's it for the most part when you had these outstanding players who were freshmen. I just think it's too difficult for multiple reasons, Rob G. You're looking at teams that nowadays, Rob, how many jokes do I make last year around this time? I said, Rob, that guy looks like he went to high school with me and you. Or that guy looks like this. These kids are still getting the COVID years. You're still getting kids who get the fifth year, kids who find a way to get these 6 years. There's so much experience. Teams are transferring and getting transfer players who have been playing for years at other schools. So it is more difficult. You're having teams with so much experience. So many guys are on these teams that have done this before. And then you're playing teams when you're going to these tournaments that have nothing to lose, right? You're playing teams, we ain't going to win. We ain't going to win. So, therefore, they're playing styles and shooting up threes that you're not ready for. It is too much to ask these freshman phenoms to carry a team that is so reliant on them all the way through the tournament. That's why, Rob, I think it's just too difficult for them to do. And not to mention, I believe also sometimes with these players the last, 7, 8 years, in the back of their brain, the NBA is a consolation prize, right? So it becomes, I'm trying. I want to win this tournament game, but if we lose, guess where I'm going? I'll be a top 5, top 6, top 7 pick in a matter of a few weeks anyway. So in the back of your brain, you kind of have that thing you can rely on and say, well, if we lose, so what? I'm going to be a top pick, a lottery pick, and you have that.
You think they think that when they're out there playing, really?
No, I think they're competing, but subconsciously, what's the worst that can happen? Whereas
I'm just saying,
if you're
playing,
back in the 90s,
I just couldn't imagine be thinking about, okay, I'm playing in a basketball game. No, I'm dead serious.
I'm serious.
This ain't football where you don't want to play in a meaningless game. I get that. You're playing in a tournament. I don't know how.
I think
you're
they
at 19 years old
want to win, but if in the back of your brain, this is the difference when you know you're one and done.
Are you into video games, celebrities, or just a good time? The Global Gaming League is a video game league with celebrity-owned teams from T-Pain to Neo, competing in everything from Call of Duty to Tetris. Sign up and join the league now at globalgamingleague.com.
Yeah, a Friday, a funky flashback Friday, if you could hear that jam. Keith McPherson filling in for Kelvin Washington. It's the odd couple with Rob Parker. Rob has come down a little bit. He's still steaming, though. I still see some smoke coming out of his ears. I mean, we're talking about modern-day coaching styles after what Tom Izzo had to say, what Hurley had to say. Is the world getting too soft? Or are these guys going to just stay hard on their guys in this transfer portal NIL world where these players have power? We got some calls, Rob. We got to hear from the people.
877-99 on Fox is the telephone number, 877-996-6369. Who we got?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's go to Adrian in Iowa first.
You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Adrian. Yep.
Hey, Rob, how you doing? Long-time listener. This is, I think, my second time calling.
We appreciate
everything you guys do. Rob's a mad man right now. And I have to agree with you. These guys, like Dan Hurley, won a championship, and he wants to get big-headed and just think he can say and do whatever he wants to do to these players. And there's a reason why Tom Izzo hasn't won a championship since Moby Dick was a guppy. You know, you don't adapt to different things, and people will change, you know. And not only do they have the NIL money, if you don't want to accept the fact that you no longer can just speak to these guys what they want to do and say whatever, then you just, you know, maybe you should stop coaching. And it's an easy thing to just blame the media. The media has a job to do, and some coaches just can't accept that. So I appreciate you guys for taking my call.
Man, thank you. I appreciate the support. You know that 877-99 on Fox. Who we got?
Coming up next, Andre in Massachusetts. You're on the Odd Couple.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for taking the call. Look at it. Hey, Mambo. Hey, Mambo Italiano. Oh. It look like I said Giuliano. Listen, there's a difference between a good chef and a great chef. There's a difference. And you know what that difference is? It's the ingredients that you cook with. That's what makes the difference. Those great chefs, they're up in the morning at the market to get the prime ingredients. And we see it in sports. It's a foregone conclusion. The difference is the quality of the players. These guys that don't want to get future NBA players who are the one-and-dones. You're not going to win. You're not going to be successful. That's you, Tom Izzo. Yes, I'm speaking to you. And the bottom line fact of the matter is they have not adapted and adjusted. The younger coaches, the Tommy Lloyds, the Shires at Duke, they realize the market has changed. The players are your partners, and you have to address them as your business partner, not as a
Andre.
subordinate.
And you know what? That's why Nick Saban quit, because he couldn't adapt. He didn't want to adapt. He didn't want to be able to do that, and that's what you have to do. If Tom Izzo hates it so bad and Dan Hurley had a chance to take the Laker job and go with the men, right? And he didn't even want that job. Too big for him. He didn't want to deal with that. 877-99 on Fox. Who we got?
Let's get back to it. Let's go to Vernon Johnson in North Dakota. You're on the Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Keith McPherson filling in for Kelvin Washington.
Hey, thanks for having me.
What's happening? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I'm a new-time listener. I got an opinion on this. You know, a lot of people are saying college athletes are getting too soft, and I'd say it's some of the coaches who have too big of an ego.
They do have a big ego.
Yeah.
Well, they've always been at the top. It's always been you come into their program, you got to bow down to them.
You have to bow down to them because they had your scholarship in your back pocket. They had the ultimate power. They don't have it anymore. That's what they're upset about. It ain't about them. America's gotten soft. They're on equal ground. Andre just said it. The players are now partners. It's not subordinates anymore. Thanks for the call. 877-99 on Fox. Who we
Let's
got?
keep it rolling with Trucker Don from Beantown, Boston. You're on the Odd Couple with Rob Parker, Keith McPherson filling in for Kelvin Washington.
There you go. 2-2. Trucker Don, what's up? You know I almost blew a gasket tonight.
If I'm writing, I'm ripping.
I need baby oil and maybe cigarettes.
Does that ever hold true? If Rob Parker's writing or talking, he's ripping. But you're right to a degree. There's an old saying, in the Marine Corps, our old saying was, it takes steel to sharpen steel. And some players you have to, get a firm grasp on, and some players you have to let go easy. I mean, it's just, some players learn different ways. You had it right, absolutely.
It's like raising kids, Don, okay? You know this, okay?
Absolutely.
And some kids, you got to kick them in the butt. Am I right? And then other kids, you just got to talk to them. That's it. Everybody's not the same. Trucker Don, did we lose him?
No, I'm here.
No, he's
okay. Go ahead.
Keith, yeah, thanks. Anyway, I got a quick bit of advice for Tiger Woods, if you don't mind. Tiger, put down the driver and pick up the putter.
There you go. We got you, Trucker Don. Thank you. Appreciate it. 877-99 on Fox. We got one more to squeeze in. Are we good? We got one? Okay.
Coming up next, our guy, John Paul Morosi, Fox Sports Radio, MLB, and NHL insider, will join us next.
But first, we're going to get you caught up with Mr. Steve DeSager.
Hey there, Tiger Woods was arrested today in Florida on suspicion of DUI. No injuries reported. At high speed, he hit a truck. His car flipped on its side and skidded. He was likely impaired by medication, according to the sheriff. Yankees shut out the Giants again 3-0. Right now at Toronto, it's scoreless. Blue Jays and A's top of the fourth, but Toronto's starting pitcher Kevin Gausman has 3 1/3 perfect innings with 7 strikeouts already. At Miami, the Marlins lead 2-1 over the Rockies in the bottom of the fifth. The late game in L.A., 10 p.m. Eastern Time, will have the Dodgers against Arizona after L.A. gets its championship rings. The Orioles gave former Tampa Bay pitcher Shane Baz a 5-year extension. Former Gold Glove outfielder Jason Hayward retired. To the NCAA men's tournament, Sweet 16 continuing tonight. Early second half, St. John's leads number 1 Duke 46-44. Late first half, Alabama ahead of the 1 seed in the Midwest, Michigan, 38-37. 2 late games later. The NIT semis are next Thursday. In the women's Sweet 16, already wins for Connecticut and Notre Dame. Halftime, 1 seed UCLA leads Minnesota 34-29. Among the NBA games, Indiana still leading the Clippers. Pacers at home up 60-55 early in the third. Atlanta leads at Boston 56-50 late in the second quarter. For the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown out with calf tightness. Back to you.
Thanks, Steve. For over 40 years, Tire Rack has been helping customers find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. Ship fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection with convenient installation options like mobile tire installation. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. It is the Odd Couple. Rob Parker, Keith McPherson filling in for Kelvin Washington on a Flashback Funky Flashback Friday in NYC.
That's right. We're in New York. Be back in Los Angeles. Kelvin Washington and I will be back reunited, and it feels so good. Appreciate Keith filling in these last 2 days here on the Odd Couple always. And then it's great to be in the same studio and get to work where normally I'm back out in L.A. and you're here in New York. And we are going to talk with John Morosi, of course, from MLB Network and Baseball Insider. And there's a lot of stuff the season has just started to get to. And I'll be interested to get his takes on as we get the season underway. And it was interesting to me last night, Keith, after our show, watching the second game on NBC, the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, just to see baseball back on, you know what I mean, on regular television. You know,
fresh
like
field.
Yeah.
Everybody jerseys clean. And
with NBC, I thought that was just awesome. Like it brought me back to the old days when baseball used to be on NBC. And
Sunday night baseball now.
I know. I love what they're doing. Like NBC really, they figured it out because now they got Sunday night football that goes into Sunday night basketball. And now Sunday night baseball.
And they had the Olympics.
Right? They got it all covered and all figured out. So very, very interesting in what NBC's doing. And I love the Sunday night baseball. The other thing we could talk about, and which I'll really be interested in, and this is just me. You know, the Giants went out of their way and did something that was just a lot of people in baseball looked at it and said, what are they doing? Which is basically Tony Vitello, who they hired, who was a top-tier, we get it, program at the University of Tennessee as their manager, which had never been done in the history of Major League Baseball, which is to hire a Major League manager without any previous professional coaching experience. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here's why I didn't think it was a good move. I don't care how well he did in college. The pros are something different. And how can the Giants, a storied franchise in their own right, in a division with the Dodgers and Padres, use this as like a training ground? Do you know what I mean? For a novice.
Yeah.
And then you got to deal with it. Even managers in baseball who maybe didn't manage in the minor leagues, guess what? They played in the majors. So there's a certain degree of respect that you get. Keith, you get me?
I do.
Even though you weren't a manager, when Lou Piniella was hired as a manager, he had never managed in the minor leagues, but he played baseball for 17, 18 years. Aaron Boone's the manager of the Yankees. I think this is year number 9. He was a broadcaster after he played. Everybody in his family played in the major leagues. Mm-hmm. There's a different degree, and this is so unorthodox, so different. And the people in San Francisco, I know, go ahead, say it's only 2 games. You can poo-poo it all you want. All I know is their college coach, who's now a major league manager, his team hasn't scored a run in two games.
Historic.
Has never happened in the history of the San Francisco Giants. Never happened.
Okay, coming in right now, our guy, John Morosi. You know him from MLB Network. He's an insider. We're going to talk shop with him right now. John, are you there?
I am indeed. Happy opening day. This is an international segment. I'm joining you live from Toronto, where the defending AL champs had a beautiful pregame ceremony and now trail the A's 1-0. Man, this A's team, if you're looking for a bit of a sleeper pick to make the playoffs this year, I like the A's of West Sacramento this season.
I like that. I went to a game last year in West Sacramento. I went. I love the closeness of it and everything, and I'm seeing the stadium that they're building in Las Vegas. It'll be a couple years, and it'll be ready to go there. But let's start. I was at the opener in San Francisco, the Yankees and the Giants, and now here we are 2 games in. The Yankees have scored 10 runs. The Giants have scored none. Judge got booed like crazy. Golden sombrero, 4 strikeouts. He had a 2-run home run today. Stanton had another home run, a home run and another RBI, and he's off to a hot start, and the pitching has been great. What do you make of the Yankees?
The Yankees, to me, by just bringing back their cast from last year, which for the most part they did. They didn't make a ton of changes. They did bring back Bellinger, which is important. They brought back Grisham, which was important. If they have a healthy year, and if they get off to a good start, now here's why I think a good start for the Yankees is paramount. They will get better as the year goes along, just organically, in my view, with Cole and Rodon. So internally, their rotation will improve. They've got enough depth in their rotation now with the emergence of Schlittler from the start of last season that they actually Heel is not even part of their rotation to begin the year. So they've got the depth they need. And if they just get off to a solid start, they will only get better as the year goes along. The unfortunate part for them is that the Baltimore Orioles are better and the Red Sox are better. I saw the Red Sox yesterday in Cincinnati. I love Roman Anthony. I think that their outfield overall is one of the most productive in the sport. They're going to defend better this year. Their rotation is led by a legit ace in Crochet. They've added Sonny Gray as well, of course. There's a lot to like with this Red Sox team. So whether you're the Blue Jays or the Yankees, those the 2 teams that met in the division series a year ago, for me, Rob and Keith, there's a lot more competition now in the American League East, and there's going to be a lot of this could be a multiple bid division. We like to say that this time of year in basketball. It's a multi-bid division, I believe, in baseball this season.
Yeah, John, I'm still on the Giants. I'm a Yankee fan. I'm not worried about the Yankees, but I'm still on the Giants and Tony Vitello. I feel like right now there's some panic. Buster Posey and them, they trusted this guy. They spent a lot of money. They've been trying to put this team together for a while, and they've chosen him to be their leader. And, he just came out after the game. He said, I would say at this point emotions are a little too high, whereas unfortunately this game's not like football. Baseball is more about intent and its intensity. Like, he's going to have all the right words, but those guys got to look into his eyes and know that he's in control. He can lead the way. Do you think this is just baseball the first 2 days? If they get swept tomorrow, is it going to be panic?
It's a bad start, I'll tell you that.
It is just not a good look out there for San Francisco. They got to get right.
I understand it. It is. I guess I'll make a couple points. Number one, there's a lot of teams going to lose series to the Yankees this season. So it's a little bit magnified because it's early and because Vitello is coming in without professional baseball experience. I think that he has said the right things. The Giants felt as though they needed to have a different voice and different approach and a little bit of a younger approach with some backing from the college game. I think all those things are valid. The biggest thing they've got to do is they need to make sure that Rafael Devers is comfortable and at the heart of everything that they are doing. If he is not in sync and locked in and feeling supported by everyone 1 through 9, then it's not going to work. And obviously Devers was traded from Boston. He worked with Bob Melvin for half a year in San Francisco. Melvin's out, now a new manager. So basically he's had 3 managers in the last less than a year. And at some point, he's going to have to produce like the player that he could be. If he doesn't, I do think the Giants will struggle. You cannot pull the plug on a manager this soon. There's just
no. I'm not.
Or even say that it's his fault. I think that they wanted to have a different approach. They've got it, and I think that they need to let this just calm the waters for a while before we look at it and say it was a mistake or a ill-conceived notion of bringing someone from the college ranks.
All I'm saying to you is it can turn quickly, and that's all I'm saying. If they start out 0-10 or 0-11 or 1-9, no, people will wonder if this was the right thing. And my only thing, John, is this. The idea that you're bringing a novice to the game, and I'm talking about Major League, I know what he did in college, but in a division with the Dodgers and the Padres, and he's supposed to learn on the job in that division with those teams, that's a tall order, is all I'm saying. And that's all I'm saying. It's a tall order. And in fairness, too, Rob, and that's a very fair point. And in fairness, when you look at it, he hasn't even really had a chance to screw up a game yet with his bullpen maneuvering because he hasn't played well enough to even have a lead.
Haven't scored.
So he hasn't even made a mistake yet. No, if we're being candid about it. But that's and again the personnel and the experience. A lot of really good managers in that division and around the sport. There's no scholarships here. I mean, this is to use the term that I know Jim Leland was always a very, very big fan of about how hard it is to win in the major leagues. And so I think that they've got the personnel to be competitive, but they don't have the personnel to finish ahead of the Dodgers, in my opinion. So it's going to be a difficult road ahead for them no matter what.
All right, last thing. I know we're up against it. The Mets did not make the playoffs last year. I think they had the second highest payroll. They made some major moves. Bichette, which was a big pickup for them, and they scored all of them. Beat up on Skeens. I mean, maybe if a ball was caught in center field, it would be a little different, but they got to him. What are the expectations for the Mets? You got them penciled into the postseason?
I think that in general, the Mets are a team that if things break right for them with the rotation, they're a playoff team. I have them penciled in there, but I don't have them in pen because again, the national. Here's why I'll tell you this: the National League East, much like the AL East, I believe teams have improved. The Braves are not going to struggle back-to-back years. The Braves in the NL are like the Orioles in the AL. They're not going to be that bad in back-to-back years. And yes, I know that they're without Profar again, but I think their pitching is going to be more stable. I look at the Marlins as being they're a better team top to bottom. The Phillies, yes, they're getting a little bit older, but man, how many pitchers on the planet are better than Christopher Sanchez? Not many. I mean, maybe he's top 5 in the game for me right now. He's that good. And even though they lose Suarez, they're a really good ball club. So I've got the Phillies still being their toughest competition. And for the Mets, it's going to have to be the young guys. How good is McClain? How good is Benj? They're relying on a different type of roster. They don't have Pete Alonso anymore. So I've got them softly in one of those last spots, but I do not have them winning the division.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks, John.
Really appreciate it. But baseball is back, my friends. It's a wonderful time of year. You reach out anytime, and I'm sure by the next time we talk, the Giants will have won a game. But again,
are you sure?
I'm pretty sure about that. I'm pretty sure. Let's talk next week, and I think they will have won a game by then. I'm just not as sure about them being able to win series from the Dodgers or a team like the Yankees. That's what I'm not sure about.
All right.
Appreciate it. John Morosi from MLB Network joining us here on Fox Sports Radio.
So we talked Yanks, we talked Giants. Coming up next, Rob hates what the Dodgers are doing, of course. This is Keith McPherson filling in for Kelvin Washington. You're listening to The Odd Couple with Rob Parker on Fox Sports Radio. Coming up soon. Stay tuned.
Did you say Aaron Judge?
So the Lakers have won 9 of 10, 6 straight, and currently sit third in the West. And that game last night, was a big one because now they sit a full game and a half ahead of Houston. They're sitting third in the West. So question becomes, do you buy the Lakers, Rob? Are you in? Are you saying, you know what? They got a little formula going. LeBron has been vocal about he doesn't mind taking a step back, whatever it takes for the team to win, and obviously 9-1. They got some good wins in it too. Denver, Houston, a few other good wins as well. So you in?
I'm out. If you ask me if the Lakers were bologna or filet, I'm going with bologna.
Do you want to spell that?
BOLONONGA. Is that it? How we spell it?
I don't know. You said that one so fast.
BLON. No, here's my issue. Regular season is not postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Getting stops, playing defense. I was listening to a lot of NBA analysts, and they were saying what they're shocked about, teams not devising a way to go at Luka, you know what I mean, during a stretch, and just, abuse him, right? Like you can do that. And I think in the playoffs, when you have a series and you're seeing somebody, right, 4 out of 7 nights, you'll come up with a plan. And defensively, I don't think they're good enough. And I think that, and I know people thought you could just outscore everybody last year. Everybody thought that they would be the team.
Austin Reeves giving you almost 30 a game. So
okay,
that's a huge...
but in the playoffs, he did last year. He didn't. Go back and look at the numbers. He didn't show up in the playoffs. He played poorly. And I'm just saying, the regular season is just different. Like it is. They'll let you get off. They'll let you do your thing for the most part. They're not going to lock down and put all this energy in a regular season games. It's different in the postseason. And I just think those 3 statues out there will not be able to, right, with some of the younger legs and younger players that are in the Western Conference and have a chance to make a run in the postseason. I just don't see them there. And this whole idea, I know it's good. LeBron saying the right thing for right now. Mm-hmm. We'll see. Now they lose 3 in a row, right? Now is LeBron still on board with this? It's good. It's easy to say that now. You've won 6 in a row and 9 out of 10. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What happens when they lose 3 in a row or 3 out of 4 or something? Then all of a sudden, I think there's an issue. That's just where I'm at. I'm not going to. They're good. They have enough talent. The NBA has enough. A lot of weak teams. They have won some good games during the stretch. So I'm not saying they're all pieces of cake. But I'm not like a run to the Western Conference Finals. No, I don't see it.
And that's the conversation that we're having. Meaning, do I think there's 2 or 3 teams in a playoff matchup they can beat the lower teams? I think they could beat Minnesota. I think they could give Houston a run for the money. Yes, I think they're the Phoenix Suns if they make it. Yeah, there's a handful of teams that the Lakers could beat in a round. The problem is, Rob, they picked a bad time to be trying to do this with LeBron, Austin Reeves, and Luka. I look at this, they got to go through potentially a run of like going through the Suns who are playing pretty, better than we all thought once all the guys left.
Much better.
Yeah, got to give him credit.
Give Devin Booker credit.
Absolutely.
I did not expect
he's looking
that.
like I didn't need him. I got to the finals without him.
They had Bradley Beal.
Yeah, then you bring KD and Bradley Beal, and we stink. Now they're gone. We're back solid. But you got to go through one of these tougher teams early. These lower teams, but are tough. It could be whoever. Minnesota without Anthony Edwards could drop, and you could end up playing them a first round.
Minnesota's a tough one, too.
Right, and that's what I mean. You got to play the Minnesota. But then you might have to go through like a Denver or something. And then you might have to go through the Spurs. Or
Denver,
the
for
Spurs
whatever reason, has always been a mismatch for the.
They match up until the last 5 minutes,
right?
And Jamal Murray or Jokic wins the game. And I could see that same thing happen where it's a good matchup because it can kind of go bucket for bucket,
and then all of a sudden
it's just the closer end. But now, if you're the Lakers, you're hoping maybe because now you got the better version of Luka that you can close it. But here's a couple of things in their favor. Again, I don't think they're going far. I think the Thunder are winning. The Spurs are right there. I think the winner's going to come out of the West. It'll be Spurs or Thunder, in my opinion.
Oh, I thought the Pistons were winning, no?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I never said that. I like what they're doing, but not right now. Not to win it, no.
Not this year.
Here's a couple of things. They're 20th. We're talking about defense with the Lakers. 20th defensive rating, which isn't, it's bottom third. So that's
20 out of 30, right?
That's not gonna cut it to win the championship, because one thing we often talk about, even those Warrior teams, they were always top 3, number 1 a lot of the times in defensive rating. You usually have to be outstanding defensively. Look at who's number 1 defensively, defensive rating? The Thunder.
Are you into video games, celebrities, or just a good time? The Global Gaming League is a video game league with celebrity-owned teams from T-Pain to Neo, competing in everything from Call of Duty to Tetris. Sign up and join the league now at globalgamingleague.com.
And we're back. Yeah, Funky Flash Friday. It's the Odd Couple with Rob Parker, Keith McPherson, filling in for Kelvin Washington. Hey, are you into video game celebrities or just a good time? The Global Gaming League is a video game league with celebrity-owned teams from T-Pain to Neo, competing in everything from Call of Duty to Tetris. Sign up and join the league now at globalgamingleague.com. Now, I told y'all Rob hates what the Dodgers are doing. I'm always hating on the Dodgers. If you listened yesterday, you heard me hating on the Dodgers. People were calling up. But, Rob, what is it specifically? Is it Shohei? Is it Shohei's contract? Shohei's gambling? Sorry, excuse me, I shouldn't have said that. Is it Shohei and the deferred money? Is it the TV contract? Like, what is it this time that the Dodgers have done besides win back-to-back World Series championships, sign up all the best players, make all the best trades? What is it this time with these L.A. Dodgers that's got you a little chapped?
You know what I'm bothered by is that the Dodgers have reached an agreement for the naming rights to their field to a Japanese fashion retailer. I mean, the Dodgers are making money hand over fist. Why? Are they cash-strapped? What are the Dodgers doing? Money, stop it. I always had a lot of respect for the Dodgers. You know why? Because they didn't sell out. It's still called Dodger Stadium. Could they make a ton of money if they put a name on that building? Absolutely. The Yankees, the Dodgers and Yankees refused to go down that route. Hold on to your name. Everything, Keith, is not for sale. No.
Kind of is
I
now.
don't care. And now here we are. It's some field. I don't even want to say the name. I refuse to say it.
Uniqlo? I think it's like, and I've seen Uniqlo. I've actually only made one purchase there. I actually, when I was in London, went to Uniqlo. It's like a H&M. I needed like a cheap set of gloves and a hat because it was cold.
It's a Japanese fashion
Japan.
retailer. Yep.
So say less. Based in Japan. I guarantee you Shohei Ohtani has something to do with this. Maybe he's got equity. Maybe he's a part owner. And then, I mean, they have this whole pipeline where if you're coming from Japan to L.A., the travel packages are all set up to come see the Dodgers, and they've made Ohtani's money back in his contract because of all those fans in the Far East.
I get it. I understand. It's another way to cash in. Don't do it, though. You don't need to do it. The Yankees have a big brand, the biggest brand in sports, right? Them and the Cowboys, right? They don't need to sell them. They don't need to sell a name. That's the so-and-so field at Dodger Stadium. Really? Is that what we're going to say? Yeah. I'm not calling it that. It's Dodger Stadium to me. It's Yankee Stadium. It's Fenway Park. Everything doesn't have to be for sale. It's bad enough we got a patch on uniforms, right?
Yeah.
We're going to sell everything? Is that what we're going to do?
Ads on the helmets.
It's awful. Can we hold on to something? And the whole idea is these iconic ballparks. That's why in Houston, you don't know what to call a stadium because it's been named 3 or 4 times. Am I right? From Enron to all kinds of different names. It changes every 5 or 6 years. You can't even say, oh, yeah, what a great ballpark I was as a kid going to this stadium, because you can't even name it. All right, hour number 3 is coming up here on The Odd Couple, and you know what you need to do. Stick and stay.
America!
We are Fox Sports.
It's The Odd Couple. You know what time it is. It's your boys.
Let's get it. The Odd Couple is fun.
Check.
And informative.
Check.
What's up, America? You want to talk sports with 1.5 of the best-looking guys in the game?
That game was incredible.
You are wrong. You'll be king of the water cooler.
What's it like working with Rob? Rob in his mind is like Chris Rock mixed with Richard Pryor, so I'm running out of fake laughs. Ha ha, Rob. Rob is very passionate.
Son, you ain't ready for this. Well, I don't have BS in my game. I'm straightforward. I'm honest. You say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Eli Manning beat him twice. And, of course, it doesn't hurt that I'm right most of the time. Kelvin is the nice guy, wants to make everybody feel warm and fuzzy.
You done? Let me tell you the truth. I bring the energy, a youthful energy. Rob's not gonna see this, is he? And I bring an honest opinion.
Michael Jordan, I can't take it anymore. I need a break. I'm gonna go play baseball.
Trash Talking Tuesday is the best.
It's a great opportunity for folks to call in and they get to trash whomever.
Who you trashing, Roger?
I'm trashing LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay.
They can't even hold Wilt Chamberlain's shoes.
Stop talking about the king like that. It's a new era. Let LeBron be the best, please.
I only recognize one king in the United States, and that's Burger King. The connection with the Odd Couple audience is incredible. We really invite them in.
And they can relate, whether it be things about our own personal lives or our takes on sports.
Love you guys. You guys are killing it.
Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with your boys. They feel like it's just my guys, just my friends, and they join right in on the show.
We talk with the listeners, not at them.
Obviously, you can listen to us live, but you can still check out the podcast. You can check out our YouTube. You can check us out on social media. So in any way you want to get it, you can get it.
Yes.
There's some yelling. It is some hot takes. It's a whole lot of fun. I'll give you that.
It is fun. I agree. Begrudgingly.
The Odd Couple.
Sports talk that's too good and too fun.
At the Sweet 16, St. John's is tied with number 1 Duke, 65 all, just over 6 minutes to go in D.C. Meanwhile, halftime in Chicago in the 1 seed in the Midwest, Michigan trails 49-47 against Alabama. 2 late games coming up. In the women's Sweet 16, 1 seed UCLA now ahead 42-32 over Minnesota mid-third quarter. Already wins for number 1 UConn and for Notre Dame, which eliminated Vanderbilt 67-64. In the NBA, early fourth quarter at Indiana, Pacers still ahead of the Clippers 90-86. And at Boston, at Celtics 69-68 over Atlanta mid-third. Tiger Woods was arrested on suspicion of DUI in Florida. In baseball, opener at Toronto, and the Blue Jays 2-1 leaders against the A's. Bottom of the fifth, Kevin Gausman, 10 strikeouts, no walks so far. I'm Steve DeSager.
I've been covering this league since 1987.
Can this sports writer and this sports fan share a radio show without driving each other crazy? Now, live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's Fox Sports Radio's
number
Odd
three.
Couple.
On a funky
Kelvin
Flashback Friday. It is the Odd Couple. Fox Sports Radio. Rob Parker, Keith McPherson, filling in for Kelvin Washington, doing a yeoman's job. We appreciate it the last couple of days. And let me tell you, make sure you check out our YouTube channel, which is blowing up. We appreciate our very faithful listeners and now watchers on YouTube. And some of you guys haven't signed up yet, and you know how you can do that? Just search Odd Couple FSR on YouTube. Again, that's Odd Couple FSR. And be sure, that's right, do it! Make sure you hit the subscribe button.
Just do it!
Don't stop there. You can give us the Knicks thumbs up. That's for you, Keith. Knicks thumbs up icon or comment away. Because that changed the Knicks season, that thumb. But that's another story. Yes, and make sure you chime in and check us out on YouTube. Remember, it's Odd Couple FSR and subscribe. So, Keith, spirited 2 hours in the books. We got one more to go here on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. And this one, I think, is going to be interesting for both of us. So there's a little tete-a-tete brewing between George Gervin, who when I was growing up was called the Iceman, and then this past year we saw Caleb Williams, who, you know, I'm all about Caleb, and they call him the Iceman because of the throws and the games that he was able to win this past year for the Bears. He was incredible in winning those games. And, Alex, you do have Caleb Williams to let Keith know how much of a Caleb guy I am in that I made a song for him. Are you ready, Keith? Here we go. Yep, we got this song that I made for Caleb. I don't make songs for a lot of players. You know me, I'm not a fan guy, but when I see a talent, and way before everybody else got on board with Caleb Williams, here was my song for him.
Shrek.
There you go. There's that song, the Caleb song that I came with before he started winning, before he started throwing all the touchdowns at the end of the games and all that. But guess what? One guy's not singing his praises, and that's George Irvin, the Iceman. And Shay, what did he have to say about what's happening between him and Caleb?
George Irvin kind of making a comeback right now. He was actually on Marty Supreme, if you guys didn't know that, one of the Oscar-nominated movies in 2026. I didn't even know who this guy was, to be honest, and I work in sports, so
wow.
I can tell
But that's way before
George Irvin was in Marty Supreme. I didn't see that. But
yeah, which is pretty crazy.
Way before you, Shay. Wow. You're a young guy. You're in your 20s. You wouldn't know who George Gervin is.
Yeah, which makes sense, honestly, but I definitely know
know who Caleb Williams is, and I do know he wanted to be the Iceman. So we'll see what goes on with that. So George Gervie and by Iceman, you guys hear this music, by the way?
Yes.
You know what this is from, Rob, right?
Yes. This is the Danger Zone, right? This is Top Gun.
Top Gun. And you know who's in Top Gun?
I didn't know that. Never seen Top Gun.
Okay,
Yes.
that's why.
a Tom Cruise movie.
That's
yeah.
a Tom Cruise movie. But the Iceman is from this movie, and that's where everyone gets this name from. Caleb Williams wants to be called the Iceman in Chicago. He wants to be called that name. Yesterday, he put in the applications for Iceman and Iceman 44. 4 days after Williams filed
so you mean
his
for the trademark, yeah.
For the trademark, yeah. Next, Irvin does the same exact thing for Iceman and Iceman 44. This is going to cause a couple issues within the law field as well as between the two athletes. People are not really understanding why he would do this now because you could have done it how long ago. And now after just 4 days of Caleb Williams doing it, he decided, maybe it's time for me to trademark something that's already been trademarked. What do you guys think?
And here we go, Keith. Okay, so we got new school and old school. Okay, George Gervin was the Iceman when I was growing up, and him as a basketball player, first in the ABA and then the NBA. That's how long George Gervin played. Okay, that there was the ABA was around, and that was his nickname, and everybody knew that as his nickname. And then Caleb came around this year, and with Ben Johnson as the head coach, and just made some incredible plays. And they would say, this guy has ice in his veins. He's unbelievable and uncanny. And now here we are, the moment of truth. And if you ask me, when I hear the name Iceman, I think of George Gervin. I do. I think Caleb has the right to trademark it because that's what people are calling him now. And you would have thought that maybe George Gervin would have done it already. But when I hear that nickname, I do think of George Gervin. I do. Caleb is brand new. He's a puppy compared to George Gervin. We talking about George Gervin hadn't played basketball, I'm guessing, in 25 years or whatever it's been. I got to look at it. Can you look it up?
He retired before I was born.
Shay, when did he retire? Can you find that out? I don't know the exact year. When 86. He retired from playing basketball. It's been a long time. Maybe longer than that.
1990.
25 years. 1990. So how many years is that, right? 36 years, right?
Yeah.
That's a long time. Where are you on this?
Listen, I don't know why anybody is fighting over this because the only Iceman I know of right now is Drizzy Drake. I'm waiting for Drake to drop. Y'all didn't see them Iceman YouTube episodes Drake put out? He's supposed to have a whole Iceman album. We're waiting on Drake as the Iceman. That's what I know as the Iceman. But listen, Caleb with ice in his veins, the throw he made against the Packers, he plays out there in Soldier Field. It's cold, and then he does the chili, like I'm doing. If you can see me on YouTube, the chili celebration, the Iceman. Like, hey, he's got it right now. George Gervin. Like, you can't think of somebody. You can't think of someone as the Iceman that you don't think of. Nobody was thinking about George Gervin as the Iceman. I honestly forgot about bro until this came back around. They even in the article said that, no, Chuck Liddell is the Iceman. I forgot about Chuck Liddell, the fighter from UFC. Caleb Williams has got it right now. He's known as the Iceman from them throws, ice in his veins. It's him and Drake. It's him and Drizzy Drake.
So if you're in the patent office, the trademark office, you're going, now it depends, right? Is it a young guy who's writing this trademark, or is it an old school guy? You know what I mean? Who goes, when I think of the Iceman, it's George Gervin. He used to have posters. I remember having a poster in my room, and it said he was on a block with his foot up on a block of ice.
Rob,
because that was his name.
Rob, you're not the only one. Skip Bayless was on Twitter today and actually said, I'm a Caleb Williams fan, but I was a much bigger Iceman Garvey fan, and I'm offended Caleb and co are trying to steal George's all-time great nickname. But then actually he responded, Caleb Williams came back on Twitter and responded, I don't care about where your fandom stands. I was trying to give you and everyone else the benefit of the doubt and knowing business and being smart about it, but I guess not. Foolish of me. Also, words matter, Skip Bayless. Steal, quote. Enjoy that podcast.
There you go. Okay, wow. Okay, so Caleb jumping in. And I'm not now. What I will say is Caleb is the one who came up with the idea for the trademark. George Gervin, a long time ago, the idea that now he's coming late to the party. Am I right? He's retired for 36 years.
Decades
Super
late.
Like I can't understand that. Right. Like Caleb
wasn't born yet.
Caleb shouldn't even have the opportunity to grab it. You know what I'm saying? Because it should have been trademarked years ago, but people didn't always do that. Pat Riley was the one who trademarked three-peat. Sure. He was smart. He was like, the Lakers win 3 in a row. What are they calling it? Not a repeat, a three-peat. And he gets paid every time somebody puts that on a T-shirt or every time somebody uses three-peat. So George Gervin made the big error in that he's late to the party for this, and now he wants to try to, stop Caleb from doing it and trying to grab it. It's kind of late to me, but I'm going to tell you, I'm all in on Caleb. I said it before he started playing well. I said it even after they got, I think was that game 2 in Detroit, right? Everybody was like, oh, they're awful and Caleb can't play and all that other stuff. So I was still there with Caleb. But in this case, if you ask me honestly, who do I think of? I think of George Gervin. And you, being much younger than I am, Keith, you think of Caleb, right? I mean, is that it?
And Drake. And Drake is a much bigger name and entity than all of them. So I think of Drake, Iceman. Wait till the album drops. That's going to be a new wrinkle. When Drake's album goes #1, called Iceman, they're going to say, Drake is the Iceman.
So this is interesting to me, and we'd love to hear from you especially. 877-99 on Fox. When, the trademark thing is going to be determined, so we all know how that goes. We can't figure that out. 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. But when you hear that nickname, who do you think of? Because Keith is saying it's Drake. That's what the young kids are going to say is Drake? Is that what they're saying?
Facts.
The old heads like me are going to say George Gervin. And the current sports fans, Shay, like you, and guys in their 20s, are they going to say Caleb Williams? What?
Real quick to touch on what you guys just said about Drake. I think they're actually doing something together. I think Caleb and Drake actually. I think that's why he's trying to get this. These are all speculations and everything.
From Instagram. If you follow them both on Instagram, they did allude to some type of...
Yeah. They've been alluding to doing something together for a while. So honestly, I think the original Iceman, which is your Iceman, Rob, is very George
Gervin.
small compared to what's going on.
He's the odd man out.
Yeah, exactly. And
listen to you guys trying to muster and push this guy
I'm not,
out.
but it's like Drake's got all the money, and then you got Caleb Williams, who's got the money and the fingernail. So it's like, this is going to, you know what I mean? Like, this is going to happen. Like, I feel bad almost for the guy.
As long as he throws touchdowns, I don't care about the finger.
I mean, hey, as long as you cash your bets, Rob, right?
Am I right? I'm just like, man, he balled out last year. And I'm all in on Caleb Williams. And all I'm saying is not whether because I believe that he's going to get the trademark because he's first to the party, right? Like George hasn't played in 36 years. That's a 1990? Long time. So, but from you, the Odd Couple listener, what do you think of? Who do you think is really the Iceman? Is it George Gervin, old school, Caleb Williams, new school? Is it Drake, worldwide, music icon? We want to hear from you. We're going to get as many people in. Tell us, who do you think is the real Iceman and why? 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. It is the Odd Couple on a funky Flashback Friday. Rob Parker, Keith McPherson in for Kelvin Washington, where we deliver insight, not noise, right here on Fox Sports Radio. And you know what you need to do on a Friday night. Stick and stay.
Especially if you haven't seen Top Gun in the US of A.
Eugenio Suarez, who had the game-winning hit there in the 9th inning, spoke to Fox after the game. And just take a listen to hear what he said about what it meant to him.
What made this team so special? The union. We are together the whole time. We're not just teammates. We are family. This team is awesome. We are family here. That's why we play with passion, with love, because we feel the jersey. We feel our country in front of us. That's why this is a lot for us as players, as a people, as a human beings, and as a Venezuela. Now we are the champion.
Yeah. Rob G, I mean, Rob and I were talking about this yesterday, and I meant to bring it up to you. We were saying, win or lose, America, specifically here in the States, if America won, what would be the lasting thing? I gave it 24-36. Did it last 8 hours here?
People got mad that they lost, and they gave their venom this morning. I heard all of that stuff.
I mean,
but I'm going to say this, and I'm Venezuela, Miguel Cabrera, who I know and covered in Detroit for a long time, and for the people there, I'm not trying to poo-poo it, but I gotta. Can I? Is this on? I'm gonna call.
Sounds like some major poo-poo.
I'm gonna call BS on this. I am.
Hold up.
And here's why I'm calling BS on this. All those guys, they didn't grow up with no WBC. They have no history. It's only been around for 20 years. It would be different if there was some long-standing history and their country could never push through. It's only been around for 20 years. You could barely eat a cup of coffee and a sweet roll. That's how long it's been around. Like, come on. You're making it like there's some unbelievable. Wow, this is the Olympics in Athens, Greece. And, like, really? A spring training event?
This is.
Dude, stop it. Venezuela. Really?
Yes, really,
This
Rob.
is going to make you cry. Boo-hoo. Oh, my God. I can't believe we won. We're family. No. What about all the other nations that played? They're not family? Only you, because you won. And if you lost, you would have walked off just like they did at the Dominican Republic. Come on now. Congratulations. Mazel tov. I hope you enjoyed it. But to build this up and act like it's the greatest thing in the world and everybody's crying like a baby, boo-hoo, can we get a commercial for Kleenex? How do you say Kleenex in Spanish? What are you doing?
This is what I keep trying to tell you, Rob.
It ain't that big.
It's only that big to them.
It's just been around this long. Come on, Kelvin.
I'm telling you why.
There's
right
no
now,
history
look at
for
this.
this.
We're looking right now. It's the Oklahoma City, and it says Thunder above their jersey. But for when it says Venezuela, when it says Dominican Republic, when it says Japan, it matters to them. It's life or death to them. To the fans, they take it super seriously.
There's no history. There's nothing.
That's where you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
It's not the WBC history. It's the history of the country. And it can be basketball, pickleball. It don't matter.
No,
when their country is across it, that's how they feel.
How? How can this be special when they were kids? There was none of this. They can't be that special.
It's because I'm playing baseball with my friends, with my countrymen, and we're doing this for our country. That anytime they wear a jersey that has their country name on it.
It's an exhibition happening during spring training instead of spring training games, and it heightens it. I get that. I'm not trying to poo-poo the whole thing.
You're heavily poo-pooing it. Matter of fact, where are the dude wipes? That's how much poo-poo is going on. Get this man some dude wipes.
But really, like a thing that's been around like 20 years.
I'm going to tell you why.
No history.
All jokes, I'm going to tell you why, Rob.
I find it to be mind-boggling. I find it mind-boggling.
Here's why. When they have an opportunity to win, Venezuela, America went and kidnapped their president. Okay, just took them. They're going through things right now in Cuba. They don't have any power. The entire country doesn't have power. So when countries, the smaller countries that are going through things like that, the game becomes much bigger than baseball for them. So for them, we just brought some solace, some passion, something to be happy about, to cheer about to our entire country. We're divided right now. Right now we got Golden State versus Boston. We got the Thunder versus the Brooklyn Nets. This is one singular thing where the entire country came together. We persevered. We won. And I feel you. It's just the WBC to us because we got Major League Baseball starting. Look at my watch, exactly a week from today. But for them, this is life or death.
Did you hear Derek Jeter?
What did Derek Jeter say?
Derek Jeter said, yeah, the people who are saying that this is bigger than the World Series obviously had never played in the World Series or won a World Series. And that his sentiment.
Kike Hernandez has played in multiple and said the same thing. He's played in 5 World Series.
He ain't lead nobody. How many at-bats he got in those 5 World Series? Stop it with Kike.
Don't act like Kike ain't got some huge moments in the postseason.
All I'm saying is, are you kidding me that this thing has been around for a cup of coffee and a sweet roll, and now,
and by the way, 2
it's
decades is kind of long. You got to
20 years in sports.
2 decades is
no, it
pretty
ain't.
long.
No, it ain't.
Are you into video games, celebrities, or just a good time? The Global Gaming League is a video game league with celebrity-owned teams from T-Pain to Neo, competing in everything from Call of Duty to Tetris. Sign up and join the league now at globalgamingleague.com.
It is the Odd Couple on a funky Flashback Friday. Rob Parker, Keith McPherson in for Kelvin Washington. Kelvin will be back on Monday. We'll be in full effect. We're in New York right now doing the show on this Friday night. And don't forget that if you missed any of today's show, guess what? You can catch the podcast. Just search Odd Couple wherever you get your podcasts. And right after the show, today's podcast will be posted. Shay's working on it as we speak. Be sure to follow the podcast, rated at least 5 stars, so that you can even provide a review there. Again, search Odd Couple wherever you get your podcast, and you'll find today's full show and a best-of version posted right after the end of the show. What happened in that game, Keith? Is it over?
Well, Church Bells, I don't know what in the hell's bells that shot was. That was almost an air ball. He missed, and the ball, I think, went out of bounds.
So Duke has it with 1.8?
Yeah, they're up 3.
I think they're up by 3 with the basketball, so there was a missed free throw there. But there we go. The end of the game is coming. Duke against St. John's. All right, 877-99 on Fox. We're talking about the controversy. Who's the Iceman? Who cometh first with the Iceman moniker? Is it George Gervin? Is he the Iceman to you, or is it Caleb Williams? New school, old school, where do you fit in? 877-99 on Fox. Keith, I know a lot of people are going to want to get in on this. Let's go. Let's start with Jamie in Illinois. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Jamie?
Hey, I love Caleb, but I got to call shenanigans on this. You can't just give yourself a nickname and do a trademark. I feel like that's something Shaq would do back in the day, call himself the Big Aristotle, all these other crazy nicknames. And the second thing is I got to shout out the Iceman King Parsons from the 1980s World Championship Wrestling, the very first black heavyweight champion in professional wrestling.
There you go, Jamie. Appreciate the history lesson in the WWF wrestling. Appreciate you. Thanks for the support. David in St. Paul, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, David? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Doing great. Thanks for the support, and thanks for calling in.
Right on. I just want to say my Iceman is Val Kilmer from 86, Top Gun.
Okay, there it is. What did I say? Didn't I say
That's the guy right there. He knows what he's doing.
I told
I wasn't around.
No, I know, but
you were right. You called it. You said you saw the movie.
I said I took a date in the theater in 1986. Yes.
Yep, that's funny, Rob.
Yeah,
I did.
You can't take that away from the guy. Rest in peace to Val Kilmer, though. But
No doubt.
He was
All right,
the
David.
best.
Yep. Thank you, David. Appreciate you. How about Jacob in Austin? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Jacob?
Hey, Rob. I've been a fan forever, man. Just calling in.
I appreciate
really
that. I really do. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You and since you and Chris. But anyways, I just had to call, man. I'm 30 years old. Since I'm a huge sports fan, I always think of George Gervin, just because
you do.
Just because whenever I think of basketball, if I'm thinking of sports in general, I'm going to think of George Gervin. And whenever I hear someone come to the defense of Drake so quickly, I do have to say I have a bunch of friends, most of whom love them some rap music, and not a single one of them has referred to Drake as the Iceman. So I don't know where that's coming from.
Not yet.
I don't know who he is, but
they must have missed it. They must have missed this summer.
No.
Iceman about to drop.
I'm sure that Keith and Drake and Caleb Williams have some similarities for him to be defending someone with all.
We're all players.
Drake does.
we all player pimps.
Hey, Drake has some allegations. Drake.
All right, Jacob. We appreciate you, my man. Thank you. Thanks for the call. Hey, Mike in Florida. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Mike?
Oh man, I love your show so much. I don't sleep. I'm old. I'm 70, and I go to bed at 7:00. But I stay up listening to you. So
wow.
Listen, yeah.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Beat all you guys is Jerry Butler. He is the co-founder of the Impressions with Curtis Mayfield.
Okay, so he was called the Iceman. Okay, so there are other people, and music.
Amen. Before 1959.
Okay.
Even before George.
Well, we appreciate that knowledge because we did not know that. But thank you, Mike, and thanks for the support of the Odd Couple. 8 years strong, Keith. We appreciate that, Mike. Greg in Kansas, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Greg? How are you?
Hey, Rob. Thanks a lot. Here's my
sir.
thing on Caleb. Before you start naming yourself something, accomplish something.
Okay. So you're saying you don't get a nickname until and he was, you got to admit, was spectacular this past year. You would agree with that, right, Greg?
In the second half of the season, he came on. Well, let's see. Let's give it a couple of years. But the whole nickname thing, guys, I don't think Gervin ever called himself Iceman. This thing about you naming yourself the King or the Goat or the Iceman, let other people do that stuff.
I always agree that usually comes from sports writers. Like they come up with something for you, and it kind of the Fab Five, right? Michigan, right? That was written Fab Five. That's where it came from. They didn't name themselves. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate the call. How about Jeff in Idaho, Private Idaho? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Jeff?
Howdy.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. How about y'all?
All good on a Friday night,
Great.
a funky flashback Friday here on the Odd Couple.
Nice. I have been hearing a lot of chatter about this Iceman discussion. Now, I am 51, so I'm a little more old school. So for me, number one is George Gervin.
Yeah.
When they first said that, that's the first thing that came to my head. And if I were to rank out the rest of them, I know earlier there was some discussion on Covino and Rich about this, and a lot of their audience talked about Chuck Liddell.
Chuck Liddell as the Iceman, okay.
And so for me, number one, obviously, Mr. Gervin. Probably number two would be from Top Gun, the movie.
Right, Val Kilmer. Yep, we just talked about that. Yep.
Three would probably be Chuck Liddell,
and then Caleb Williams bringing up the rear. Is that what you're saying?
I might even put him after Drake.
Okay.
I was waiting for Aubrey Graham.
Okay,
I was waiting
there
for
we
Aubrey
go.
Graham.
All right. Hey, we appreciate the support. Appreciate the call. Thank you so much. Yeah, I figured that, Keith, this would be fire and people would be interested and want to chime in. So we appreciate everybody who did. on that. All right, let's get you caught up one last time on the program. Steve DeSager has that update.
At the Sweet 16 of the NCAA men's basketball tournament, number 1 Duke has just eliminated St. John's 80-75 in an East Region semifinal in D.C. The late game will have UConn against Michigan State within a half an hour. The late game, by the way, in the Midwest region in Chicago will have 2-seed Iowa State against Tennessee, and Iowa State star Joshua Jefferson will be out again with the sprained ankle. Right now, the 1 seed in that region, Michigan, is still leading Alabama 71-60 with about 10 minutes to go. In women's Sweet 16 action, UConn and Notre Dame each won today, and 1 seed UCLA leads with about 4 minutes to go, 67-51 over Minnesota. Duke LSU is the late women's game in a half an hour. To the NBA, among the many NBA games tonight, 30 seconds left at Indiana. Pacers still leading the Clippers 113-110. And the Celtics do not have Jaylen Brown tonight, out due to calf tightness, but Boston at home leads Atlanta 97-86 with 7.5 minutes to go. Only 2 NHL contests tonight, just final. Red Wings 5-2 winners at Buffalo. New York Rangers at home lead 5-1 over the Blackhawks. To Major League Baseball, the Yankees were 3-0 winners at San Francisco with 3 runs in the 6th. Aaron Judge, 2-run homer. Giancarlo Stanton, a solo shot. Blue Jays are up 2-1 on the A's in the bottom of the 7th. The Blue Jays, with their starting pitcher Kevin Gausman, he struck out 11 with no walks in his 6 innings of work. Also at Miami, it's Marlins 2-1 over the Rockies in the top of the 9th, and the Braves are shutting out the Royals 6-0 top of the 8th. The Dodgers in a half an hour had the late game hosting Arizona. LA gets its championship rings. Tiger Woods was arrested on suspicion of DUI in Florida. Back to you.
All right, Steve, thank you. It is the Odd Couple on a Funky Flashback Friday. Rob Parker, Keith McPherson in for Kelvin Washington. And now we're going to do a little NBA and bring in one of the best in the business. His name is Mark Stein, of course, NBA correspondent, insider, and, of course, on X at the Stein Line. And, Mark, happy Friday. Say hello to Keith, who's filling in for Kelvin. How are you?
Good to be with you guys. Hope all is good.
Absolutely. I do want you to tell me about the Charlotte the Charlotte Hornets. I'm sorry about that. And what has happened there? What are we missing? When did this thing flip? What's going on?
Well, man, this has been months. This isn't days or weeks. Like they were 13-25, and they've completely turned their season around. Con Knipple is obviously a huge part of it, but they've had a lot of high draft picks. Brandon Miller, when he's been on the floor, has been very good. It's the best LaMelo Ball we've ever seen. Charles Lee was the right coaching hire. I mean, they have been a great story, and it's kind of remarkable that, the West is still home to all the MVP candidates and obviously the championship favorites, but the play-in zone, or basically 5 through 10 in the East, is actually more interesting than, let's say, 7 through 10 in the West. Charlotte, Atlanta, these have been good stories, teams that been doing a lot of winning that we didn't expect.
Can you also, let me follow up, and then Keith, you could jump in. Yeah. Atlanta, they get rid of Trae Young, and that franchise turns around.
Yeah,
what happened there?
Atlanta is such a surprise because if you go back to the offseason, the Hawks and the Magic were darlings of the offseason for the moves they made. The Hawks traded for Kristaps Porzingis at a very favorable price point to add him to Trae Young, and people were really high on Atlanta being able to, make some noise in the East. And then at the trade deadline, really, Atlanta tore the whole thing down. They traded Trae Young in early January, the face of their franchise. It was clear that they weren't going to give him a contract extension, traded him to Washington. Then they traded Porzingis away. They really stripped it down, and it looked like they were starting over, and they have just been, a lot of their wins are against tanking teams. But, look at what they're doing tonight. They are beating Boston, which a lot of people think the Celtics are the favorites in the East now. So Atlanta has, Jalen Johnson has been just gone to another level this season. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, one of the signings of the season. You don't even see that much free agent activity anymore in the NBA, but Nickeil Alexander-Walker has been tremendous. They've got a lot of athleticism, a lot of length. They play good defense. Kuminga's shown some flashes there since becoming a Hawk. Like I said, from the title contenders and the MVP candidates are still bunched up at the top of the West, but what's going on in the middle of the East is actually pretty intriguing.
We're talking to Mark Stein, NBA insider here on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. This is Keith filling in for Kelvin Washington with Rob Parker. Mark, I got to go back to the Hornets. I think Rob said Bobcats because I made the joke before. I made the joke before about Jordan.
You did.
So
and it kind of put it in my head. I was like, wow, I just sound like an old man right there.
But they didn't look like the Bobcats or the Hornets last night. They were wearing those different City Connect uniforms, City Edition uniforms. It was blue and orange out there watching them against the New York Knicks. I think that threw the Knicks off. So I got to ask you about New York's team. We're here in New York. I'm surrounded by Knicks fans. They were so sure that this was their year. They just had a 7-game win streak. They run into this young Hornets team, and they get humbled a bit. Should we be worried about the Knicks' chances to challenge in the East and get back to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yeah, when the season started, I thought this was the Knicks' best chance to win a championship since '94, when they took the Rockets to 7 games. I really thought they were going to establish themselves as the best team in the East. Now, also at that time, we thought Jason Tatum was not going to play this season, and Jason Tatum is obviously back. But, the Cavs, I thought the Knicks had firmly moved past Cleveland. As I said, Orlando and Atlanta were expected to make noise, and, they both have had their ups and downs. Atlanta certainly got it going now. But, the Knicks, I don't think the Knicks are going to be favored in the East. Boston getting Tatum back has given them a new dimension. Now, Detroit has basically led this thing wire to wire. They expect Cade Cunningham back for the playoffs, but the Pistons are still, as a group, they have very limited playoff experience. So I'm not going to say the Knicks can't come out of the East. I mean, they can if they lock in, get it together, play to their max. But it's been compared to where they were in December when they won the NBA Cup to now. I do think there is cause for concern is fair.
Agreed.
I want to get back to the Pistons and Cade Cunningham. I know they're hopeful and whatnot. A collapsed lung. What's the history, Mark, of somebody being able to come back and how long would it take? And can they, was this something that you can play through or not? I just don't know what that does to a player.
Yeah, look, it is obviously it's a scary injury. Just you say that out loud, and it doesn't sound good at all.
Right.
Again, for starters, Cade Cunningham needs to play 4 more games to be eligible for the MVP race and the All-NBA race, so I'm sure he would love to come back and play those last 4 games. I don't know if that's feasible.
That doesn't even make any sense to me. That seriously, that you would do a chance putting that guy out there for that when there's no guarantee he's going to win anything. I'm serious.
I agree with you. Look, he deserves.
Am I right? Come on.
He deserves. Well, he deserves to be All NBA, and that's why you saw this week both the union issue a statement and his agent Jeff Schwartz issue a statement that the 65-game rule is unfairly punishing him. When you hear that, when you see statements like that, it does kind of make you think, yeah, they probably realize he's not going to be able to come back and play those 4 games. But, yeah, I agree with you. Really, all that matters is getting him back for the playoffs because they have no chance. Even though they've been surprisingly good in the regular season without him. Dennis Jenkins has been one of the real Cinderella stories in the league this season and has stepped up in Cade's absence. But, yeah, to do anything in the playoffs, they need Cade Cunningham because the reality is the Pistons, even at full strength, there are questions. Do they have enough shooting to help Cade Cunningham?
That's my biggest issue, Mark. The shooting and the 3-point shooting. you look a lot of nights and they're 4 for 22. And they win, but I see the shooting and that scares me.
Yeah, they didn't do anything at the trade deadline. They basically took the OKC approach from 2 years ago where OKC said, we're going to leave our team as is. We know this team is young. We're going to let them go to the playoffs, see what they can do. And they ended up losing in the second round to Dallas. That next offseason, they went out and got Caruso and Hartenstein and became NBA champions. Detroit did the same thing. Detroit really could have used a shooter at the deadline. They didn't make a move, not a substantial move. You know, you have to wonder, are they going to regret that? Although, like I said, the East doesn't quite look for the taking as it might have back in January with Boston, with getting Tatum back, and you still have the Knicks, the Cavs, the Pistons there. Like, we'll see. We'll see how the Pistons do, and we'll see how they come to feel about the way they approach the trade deadline.
All right, Keith has one more.
Last thing for you, Mark. Unfortunately, I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan. I'm a kid from New Jersey. I'm a New Jersey Nets fan. But tonight, the Brooklyn Nets will face the Lakers, and this wouldn't be the odd couple if we didn't mention Luka, LeBron, and the Lakers. Shout out to Kelvin. Are you believing in Luka leading the team and LeBron playing his role and what the Lakers can do to push forward the rest of the season?
Are you going tonight? Are you sneaking out? Or you're based in New York, so you're not in LA?
We're in New York tonight. If it was in Brooklyn, I would go see Bron.
Yeah, we're both in New York tonight.
Gotcha. Look, we've talked about this on this show many times. I mean, Luka's had an MVP caliber season. There's no doubt about it. This is not on a roster basis. This is not the third best team in the West, but he has led them there. And I do think LeBron has embraced this complimentary role, and he is letting Luka and Austin Reeves lead this team offensively, and it is with improved defense. It is giving the Lakers a chance. I mean, can they get through a West that has OKC and San Antonio? That's a tall order, but I don't think anybody's going to want to see the Lakers in the playoffs because Luka is a monster who has a lengthy playoff resume as it is. But yeah, I mean, the Lakers, for the Lakers to be where they are in the West, ahead of your Denvers and your Minnesotas and your Houstons, it puts Luka right there with SGA and Wemby in the MVP conversation. I think all three of them have actually shoved Jokic down to 4, which is a pretty mean feat in itself.
All right, he is Mark Stein, the Stein Line. Make sure you check him out on X. Mark, we appreciate your insight, as always, my man. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, be good. Talk soon.
Yep, talk soon, no doubt about it. All right, it's last call time here on The Odd Couple. If you weren't able to get in earlier on some of our topics, we have a last caller. This is your chance to call in, 877-99 on Fox. We'll wrap this bad boy up. It is The Odd Couple, where we deliver insight, not noise. Rob Parker and Keith McPherson filling in for Kelvin Washington right here on Fox Sports Radio. Stick and stay.
Of course, if you're a goof and you forgot the number for the last call in the US of A.
It's last call time on The Odd Couple. If you had a take and couldn't get in all show, here's your chance. Your call's important to us. Call us at 877-99 on Fox. Hurry up. Rob and Kelvin got to get out of here.
Justin Fields has been dealt to the Kansas City Chiefs for a future 6th-round pick, presumably so Fields can back up Patrick Mahomes, but possibly to start the first couple of games of the season while Mahomes rehabs a knee injury.
I've read all the comments. People thinking that Andy Reid is Mother Teresa and going to save Justin Fields, and it's everybody else. Every place he's been, it's everybody else. It's the offensive coordinator. It's the ball boy. It's the masseuse at the facility.
Whoa.
It's everybody except just
the Browns.
Except Justin Fields. I think it's if he's going to be the backup quarterback and he doesn't play and holds a clipboard and goes to practice and does all that stuff, he should have a long career. He should probably play for 10 or 12 years. Mm-hmm. If you really think Andy Reid is going to turn him around, I just don't see it. Like, he's had opportunities. He went to the Jets. They gave him the quarterback job, didn't they? Was there They gave him the job. Aaron Glenn swore by him, the toughest quarterback to defend and work up a game plan for. That's what he said. Go read the quote. And what happened? They couldn't wait to get him out of there, right? It was really, really bad. Everywhere you go, you can't keep blaming everybody else. And Justin Fields, he seemed like the greatest guy in the world. Mm-hmm. I don't know if football's really, his main focus. I know he wants to be a missionary. At least that's what I read. I think he's had ample chances. And I'm not saying that he can't go there and be a serviceable backup. He go there for Patrick Mahomes and not play for 8 years. Okay, that could work. Or you play once in a blue moon. Starting quarterback in the NFL, I don't care if Andy Reid was working with him. I don't see it.
Here's why I totally get what you're saying, but the little pushback that I'll offer you. Justin Fields had Matt Nagy. He had Matt Eberflus as his coach in Chicago. Then he goes with Mike Tomlin, solid coach. We know, a very good coach, and a well-run organization in the Steelers, and he has some success. They chose to go with the Super Bowl winner and Russell Wilson, and that ended up being it for him. But we saw some success there. He's 4-2, 10 touchdowns, I think 1 interception, and was solid.
His numbers weren't good.
He was solid. But I'm not even here to act like he was some Pro Bowler or some amazing player. My point is, we saw some success. We saw some semblance of, oh wow, okay, he's a pro. Goes to Aaron Glenn. Chaos with the Jets. He's a horrible player. They aren't great. Bad situation. The only pushback I have, because I totally get what you're saying, but I would offer that the only time we saw him with what we would deem a well-run organization and a good coach, we saw some success. So that would be the only thing I would be interested in, is to see now you're with, obviously, somebody who's great offensively in Andy Reid. If nothing else, that's what he's been, is great with quarterbacks and great.
I think that's the biggest cop-out, that the only way a player can have success is if everything around them works. Mm-hmm. When we've seen players go to bad teams and turn it around and overcome that. And I'm going to give you, Cincinnati had not won a playoff game since Moby Dick was a guppy. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't win a playoff game. Joe Burrow, Rob G, am I lying? Don't go to Cincinnati. I'm trying to make the case that you're making for Justin Fields. You could Google it. Stories. People are trying to tell Joe Burrow, don't go to Cincinnati.
Right, of course
it's a bad organization. That the owner doesn't have money. It's a mom and pop store. They don't even have an outside facility. They don't even have an indoor facility. Mm-hmm. Like, there were all these bad things. The guy got hurt, played 8 or 9 games his rookie year, came back the next year, went to Kansas City and beat Andy Reid and Mahomes and the Chiefs and went to the Super Bowl. And my only point is, it can't always be everybody else.
But you said you said only, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying Joe Burrow might have had the greatest college football quarterback season we've ever seen. Joe Burrow is amazing. Justin Fields ain't that. So Joe Burrow can take a team that isn't that great and make them look better. And by the way, since then, Joe Burrow's been miserable. Joe Burrow, I don't even know if he want to play football anymore.
Not the point. My
point is that now look at him
people
in his
tried
bad
to talk him out of it.
Organization.
People tried to talk him out of going there because they said that was a badly run organization.
And it has been ever since.
And he still was able to get them to the Super Bowl.
I'm not disagreeing. It's a fact.
Professional wrestling fans, the action continues every week. TNA Thursday Night Impact every week. Don't miss the adrenaline, the drama, and the total nonstop action as you watch your favorite TNA wrestling stars. For showtimes and more information, visit TNAWrestling.com.
It is the Odd Couple on a funky Flashback Friday. I think Alex has done his thing tonight.
Today's
You
Friday.
Say that very easily. Thank you, Bill. For over 40 years, Tire Rack has been helping customers find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive, shipped fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection with convenient installation options like mobile tire installation, TireRack.com. The way tire buying should be. It is the Odd Couple, Rob Parker, Keith McPherson, finishing off a second straight day, filling in for Kelvin. Washington will be in full effect on Monday. We're here in New York, and I'll be flying back to Los Angeles and getting back home. It's been some trip, San Francisco, New York, and now back to L.A. But guess what, Keith? It is now time for Last Call.
This is the last call.
Last call time on the Odd Couple.
That's right. Last call time here. And let's go to Butch in Yonkers, New York. You're on the Odd Couple.
The last caller here on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
There we go. What's up, Butch? How are you?
What's up, Rob? What's up, Calvin? How y'all doing?
Keith, we got tonight.
Yeah,
Keith.
Kelvin ain't here. It's Keith filling in. Close,
Keith,
though.
All good.
Hey, what's going on, Keith? I used to call you in the other station. You know that. I know Keith.
Yeah, I thought when I heard Butch from Yonkers, I'm like, that's a WFAN caller.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
WFAN, definitely. Yo, you think we got enough for the Yankees to hang on this year to win that division?
Every year I feel like that, man. I want to be right. I'm getting old. It's been a while. The last time they won, I was in college, man.
But you know what? Let me tell you this. People are acting brand new. They won the same amount of games as Toronto last year. They both
94.
won 94 without their ace. Garrett Cole is back. Are you?
With Devin Williams blowing 10 games.
People are acting like the Yankees can't win the division. You guys are crazy. They're going to win the East with Garrett Cole and Rondon coming back. Are you kidding me? No. They
I
got
think we got a shot, definitely. Definitely when we get Cole back. That's like getting a big arm coming back in to help us win it all.
No doubt. All right. Well, we appreciate you, Butch. Thank you for calling in. Yonkers, New York. That's one of your guys from The Fan. And Keith has worked at The Fan in New York for 4 years, and we appreciate him filling in whenever we need him. That's 4 shows for us under the belt. Right?
Yeah, I appreciate the experience, the look, the opportunity, the reps. I'm young in my radio career. This is year 5, so experience plays, and it's just good to see another side of the industry. You guys do a great job, and I'm blessed to get the opportunity to rock with you.
Keith, you're too humble, man. You're a pro. You're a pro, man. You're too humble.
Right, Shay?
Likewise. Put that foot on the table. Come on.
But last thing here, I'm just going to say, can Tom Brady just stand down and stop it? Like I heard that the NFL wasn't crazy about him talking about making a comeback. Keith, he's almost, what is he, almost 50 years old, 50 years old?
Yeah. Tom Brady can do that.
Tom Brady could do that. Tom Brady is the luckiest of all time. And soon we're going to call him the OAT, the oldest of all time. Can you stop playing? Can you stop? You're already stealing money. You're a broadcaster. You're on every single commercial when you turn the TV on. When is enough? Can you stop?
You know what it is, Rob. It's Gisele Bündchen. She got married to her trainer.
And got a baby,
I'm looking at people.com. I just Googled her name. She's in an article where it says, this marriage has made life feel more meaningful.
Unbelievable.
Oh, Tom. I understand, Tom. I understand why you got to do what you got to do.
It's so painful.
Oh, that hurts.
All right, well, NCAA, join the NCAA, of course, as we whittle down the Sweet 16. And, of course, Major League Baseball, the season has started. All of that and much more. Keith, again, thanks. We appreciate you. It is the Odd Couple. And we'll be back on Monday in full effect. Kelvin will be back. And I'll be back in Los Angeles. So have a great weekend.
Enjoy the weekend.
No doubt. Let's go.
Later.